Two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Rilott with your Sactown Sports headlines. Over the long holiday weekend, the Kings made a couple of moves. First was the Kings and Domantas Sabonis agreeing to a 5-year, $217 million extension. They also came to an agreement with EuroLeague MVP Sasha Vezenkov for 3 years and $20 million. Day 2 of the California Classic is today at the Golden One Center. The Classic will start with the Warriors versus the Hornets at 3. That will be followed by the Spurs and the Lakers. And with the Kings will be taking on Jaime Jaquez Jr. and the Miami Heat for the final game at 7. You can listen to tonight's Kings Heat game started with game night at 6 and tip-off scheduled for 7 right here on Sactown Sports. Those are your headlines. Now let's get it started with Chris and company with Whitey and Watkins.
Yeah, thank goodness we got that 4th of July thing out of the way. Now we can focus once again on the California Classic and Summer League basketball. This is Chris and company for now. Thrilled to be with you. And did Dave leave his phone? Is this Dave's phone? Anyway, appreciate the announcement from Carmichael, Dave, J. Ross, JMRs that starting Monday, it'll be Whitey and Watkins, Chris Watkins.
Yes, I'm going to enjoy being on the front billing for the next couple days, but I'm excited for the new opportunity. It's I wish it was Watkins and Whitey, but these are the things that you have to settle for.
I don't have a problem with that at all. That is not an issue.
My original thought was it to be Chris Rilott and company.
Yeah, that one I can't. I can't work with.
Yeah, see, but then the whole alliteration thing doesn't happen.
Right.
And, it's really important, Chris. It's a good idea, but I think we're going to go with the other thing.
So technically, I guess you got today and then tomorrow and Friday, and it's still Chris and company. So,
yes, yeah. I will enjoy this rain while I have it.
Did you enjoy the California Classic? Because I know you were out there on July 3rd.
Always. I am like I love basketball and I can never get enough. And Summer League, it's definitely not for everybody, but there's still some beauty in it. And I really enjoy just kind of getting the first look at these guys. And, you can always tell who's got it and who doesn't. And, it was definitely learned some things on Monday. And I'm really excited to see what happens tonight as well.
One of the things I think I learned was that Keegan Murray probably doesn't really belong in Summer League.
Yeah, pretty decent. He played pretty well, and that's exactly what you wanted to see out of Keegan was him pretty much dominate that competition and look like he didn't belong there in the best way possible. And he dominated. I mean, he was really able to kind of do whatever he wanted. We saw him really open his game up and feel really comfortable going, putting the ball on the floor and just seemed to have a level of comfort out there that was good to see. And he didn't, he had some confidence towards the end of last year, but it's just good to see him building on the season he had last year and hopefully taking it to even new heights this year.
How about Colby Jones? Looks solid. Going to have to make his threes. I know it's one game and It's one Summer League game, but you can't help but make some kind of, if not judgment, certainly observations.
Yeah.
And he looks like he's going to be the type of player that we thought. Obviously, the level of competition, there's a step up once we get to the regular season and even just the preseason, but he looks solid, but he's going to have to make his threes, which you could say about a whole bunch of players, 3-and-D type guys.
Yeah, he looked all right to me. Definitely could show more. Wasn't a perfect game, but, was able to settle himself. He knocked down 1 3, looked fine, looked okay. And, definitely, like I said, has some things that he needs to work on. But, in terms of where he should be, I think for game 1 of your NBA career, like that's a pretty solid start. You're right, though. He does need to. You would like to see some 3-point shot making ability if he's probably going to make it up to the big boy club and get minutes there.
We have a fun exercise planned at some point this morning. I'm going to run down for you. I'll give you the players, like 4 superstars, and their numbers from their first Summer League games, and you have to match.
Okay.
All right.
I can't wait. Okay.
Yeah, so we have that coming up. One of the things that jumped out to me, especially in that first game I watched, which was the Spurs and Charlotte.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you had to watch that. At least I had the luxury of just doing anything else.
Yeah.
Wasn't great. I mean, there was really, from the jump.
Was it basketball? Was that
was
what they were
not
trying to
no,
play?
I was told that Wembanyama was the one that wasn't showing up. I didn't know Brandon Miller also wasn't going to show up to the game. So that was
Come on,
interesting.
he had
to
18
learn.
and he had a circus shot.
He sure did.
Circus shot.
He did things when the game was very much over, and that's fine. It's summer league. The results don't really matter. It's more about the process and the play. And he eventually showed something, but boy, oh boy, that was about as bad as it gets in terms of summer league basketball. It was the Spurs were up by like 30 for a majority of the game, so there wasn't really much to take from that. But Charlotte is probably in for another long year, because I looked at Charlotte's summer league roster, and it was one of those where I was like, okay, there's like 8 of their actual team on this summer league roster, right?
Yeah.
And it didn't help. It did not help them at all. They looked absolutely horrible, and I guess it's only uphill for the Charlotte Hornets, but really across the board, I was pretty disappointed by just about everybody. I mean, I'm a big Amari Bailey guy. He showed some flashes in that game, nothing spectacular. Obviously, the main attraction was Brandon Miller, and just left a lot to be desired.
Yeah, he had, and you might have been doing something else, getting ready for the next game. I think he had, like I said, he had that circus shot. Like there was 12 seconds left in the game, I think, when he made a really acrobatic shot, and they were losing by 40 or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm pretty sure he hit 2 or 3 threes in that fourth quarter as well. Again, down like 25.
Not that it means anything in one summer league game, but I liked a guy that I think you like as well, Jordan Ford, the Sacramento guy.
Yes, I love Jordan Ford. Loved his game for a really long time. It was really good to see him just kind of settle in. And the thing that I really like about Jordan's game is it's just very much in the flow of everything. Like it never felt like he was pressing, always was making the right play, just a really solid point guard. And there's been some elevated talk around town of maybe the Kings using their third point guard slot on a guy like Jordan Ford, maybe giving him a 2-way contract or maybe even signing him to a minimum deal. I think I would be for it. I mean, he shows a lot of promise. I don't know if he can if he can elevate to anything more than a backup, but Luke Laux told the story of Gabe Vincent essentially paving a very similar path to what Jordan would try and follow here in Sacramento, where, Gabe Vincent was a local guy, just wanted to get in the gym, got noticed by some Sacramento Kings guys, became a Stockton King, and then we now see, Gabe Vincent in the NBA Finals and signing a big contract with the Lakers. That could be a path that Jordan tries to follow.
Yeah, he's my guy to keep an eye on it throughout this summer league process. As we know, local guy, and went to Folsom High.
Yes, Folsom High. 2-time B Player of the Year.
Okay, yeah, and he made all 3 of his threes, and he turned the ball over once. So if you're a point guard, you can do that.
Yeah.
Not that is easy to do,
right?
But if you can keep doing that, people are going to notice him.
Yeah, and I mean, it makes me think very much of last offseason. The Kings, for their third string point guard, brought in Matthew Dellavedova and Quinn Cook and pretty much had a point guard battle between the two, ultimately, obviously, deciding to go with Dellavedova. But I think the interest that they had in Quinn Cook was somebody who pretty much brings similar skill set to that of Jordan Ford. So I could see, I think Delly was the right decision last year, as they kind of needed a lot more maturity and just people who have experience. And now that the Kings have kind of gotten to that point where now everybody has that playoff experience, I would like to see them take the flyer on a guy like Quinn Cook or like Jordan Ford, where, it's kind of an upswing. And if he comes in the game anyway, you're just hoping that he just kind of settles the boat. He doesn't need to do anything great, but if Jordan Ford is in the game, it probably means that things aren't going well. So you just need someone to be steady, and that's what Jordan brings.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. You want to give us a call. You want to participate on the text line, on the YouTube chat. We have from 12 Mulatu. He gets hurt a lot, but Bol would be supreme for the Kings.
Supreme. Wow. I really like Bol the talent. I don't know if I like Bol for the Sacramento Kings. I think he's a really fun player. Obviously brings crazy amount of size, some skills, can shoot the 3 ball. But ultimately Bol is a very, very skinny guy who plays more like a guard than an actual center. I would like to see the Kings take a risk on him, but the problem is they just don't really have the depth. I don't like Bol being their only center. Bol and Alex Len shouldn't be the Kings' backup center options. I would like it a lot more if they had maybe a more steadying presence at backup center, and then Bol could kind of be, like an alternate look. But I like Bol. I hope he goes not to the Lakers. I hope something tells me he's going to end up on the Lakers and kind of be Mo Bamba's replacement. But I just hope he doesn't go anywhere in this Pacific Division mainly.
Well, for now, he's not a free agent.
Right.
He got waived.
Yes.
So the Kings would they'd pick like 24th because it goes in inverse order to finish.
Yep.
So you'd have the 24th shot at him. So someone's probably going to claim him before the Kings even have a shot. And if no one does, if I'm the Kings, I'd be like, wait, how come no one's
What's going on
I
here?
don't think I want to take.
Right.
So I don't think, unless something happens where there's a buyout or something like that, I don't think they have any shot at him.
Yeah, I don't think so. And and
he did have a career year last year.
He did.
Too.
He started 30 plus games. I think he played in 70. So, he actually was relatively healthy last year for the first time in his career. I think that there's still work to be done on Bull as well. Like, I think he's still a little bit of a project. Again, he brings a lot of skills, but we haven't seen Bull in a winning situation. So what does he necessarily bring to a winning team in terms of like what does his role look like in that kind of situation? I don't know, because he's really he's best utilized as a scorer and somebody who can, have the ball in their hand. And I don't think that that's necessarily what the Kings want to do.
And he didn't shoot the three ball that well last year, right?
No.
Now, he's for a big guy, he can shoot it well, but when you're taking those shots and you're not making them, that's cute and everything, but you're not helping me. In Orlando,
right.
I'm only slightly exaggerating. They're going to be to a point where they're going to have their whole roster is going to be lottery picks.
Yes.
No,
just
the
about.
whole team
Yes.
is guys they picked up, drafted in the lottery.
Yeah, no, and they have they needed Bull to shoot also. They have a ton of guys. Orlando seems to have this problem where they love length, but they kind of always draft guys who have length but can't shoot. And so Bull being one of those guys who has crazy length but has the ability to shoot, I think that's why they were asking him to stretch the floor so much. And again, here in Sacramento, in a hyper-efficient offense, I just don't think Bull really fits offensively. I think defensively, if he wants to lean more into those traits, he brings a lot of size, a lot of length, some shot blocking ability, but he just hasn't really shown that that's what he wants to lean into as an NBA pro. And until he does that, I just don't think he's really going to honestly find any spot for long-term in the NBA.
So you going out to the Golden One again today?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
California Classic rages on. And meanwhile, we look at the Kings, and it appears that they are ready to, with apologies to Michael Malone, they're going to run that bleep back.
It appears that way. It definitely appears that way.
But is that the right move? We get into that next on Chris and Company with Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The Kings season might be over, but Sactown Sports coverage never stops.
I feel like we grew a lot during this playoff series with our defense, and if we can sustain that during the year, that's going to help us a lot.
Stay tuned all off-season to Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
If you're hiring, it can feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. Like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Now try ZipRecruiter free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/FREE.
Dawn or dusk, I'm on the hunt. Skeeter here, Sacramento Yellow Mosquito and Vector Control District, and I'm wearing Skeeter Vision, night vision goggles that light up skeeters at dawn or dusk like the 4th of July. Mosquito, 12 o'clock. Got him. So fight the bite by wearing long sleeves and pants at dawn or dusk when they're most active. Apply insect repellent and drain stagnant water. It's a breeding ground.
Dawn or dusk, the Sacramento Yellow Mosquito and Vector Control District reminds you to fight the bite. For more information or to report problems, go to fightthebite.net.
Live and local, it's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Well, Chris, you made it through the 4th of July, all the merriment and the fireworks last night.
Got 10 fingers still. That's a win.
You might want to count. I mean, I don't doubt your mouth skills, but
10.
It was pretty.
Had to make sure.
It was very loud last night, at least in our neck of the woods.
Oh yeah, it was popping where I was. It was it really, like I said it in the crosstalk, but maybe it's because I just haven't looked for fireworks in a couple of years. But yesterday felt like people were on their A game and missing up or making up for missed time because you look off into the distance and it legitimately looked like a war zone. I know that's kind of the point of fireworks, but
I guess
it was a little eerie yesterday. Yesterday, I definitely understood everyone who, has some firework trauma, or, I know animals don't like fireworks either. I definitely fully understood yesterday. It was just like a little eerie, and it was going on until about 12:30 in the morning.
In my neighborhood, it lasted about 12 hours.
Yeah.
Started about 12. Ended probably about 1:30.
To me, where we were anyway, there was less of it in the days building up. There was some, but there was less. And then last night it was very intense, but it seemed like it ended sooner than it has in the past few years. Almost like whoever the authorities said, look, it's the 4th of July. We'll let it slide a little bit, but look at that. It's now the 5th of July.
Yeah.
So
time to cut it up.
Let's
I think it was more of, I got to be at work tomorrow.
Yeah, that's probably
definitely
part of it too.
It was, I'm just kind of, I don't get the fireworks allure. Even the ones that go up in the sky, it's like, oh, that one was green. Oh, that one was red. Like,
you're a big fan of the drone show, huh?
Those are the future. Those are the future. If you really want to get a show, that's something, unless it's like Disneyland level fireworks, you're really not going to impress me too much. Like, there's only so much you can do sending things into the sky. The drone shows, those are a couple times I've seen some drone shows and I've been like, all right, like that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. You can't deny it.
No, I know what you're saying, because we've all seen fireworks and it's like, that's great, but I've seen it. But a drone show's like, how are they doing that?
How did they do that? Yeah. What? It's insane. Yeah. You can draw things in the sky. You can make full on plays and like actions in the sky. It's incredible. I mean, it's really incredible. And all everyone needs to do is just get drones instead of getting fireworks. It's that simple.
Drones are scary though.
They're
They're used to monitor us.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They're all over.
Not that I'm paranoid or anything.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all.
We've been monitoring the Kings off season, of course, and I believe when we were last together on Friday,
a long time ago,
we were saying, hey, it looks like the Kings are pretty much done.
Yeah.
And since then they did make it official. Sabonis is back, big deal. We'll talk more about that. Trey Lyles is back. Alex Len is back. They do sign Vezenkov. So it looks like for the most part, and Harrison Barnes is back. We talked about that Friday. They're bringing back the same core.
Yep, they're running it back.
You okay with that? I know a lot of fans, and you know it as well, if not better than I do. A lot of fans are feeling kind of like, I expected more.
People were really upset.
If
we want to just be honest,
we do.
People were very upset. I understand, because from the jump, people were saying, if we run this back, it's a disappointment. And I didn't fully agree. I think what the Kings ended up doing was just continuity is great. And they definitely maintain that. But I think people are losing sight of the fact that they still are the team they were last year, which was a really good team. But they've added. They have not lost. And it may sound like, that's a silver lining, but that's really important in terms of building continuity. And, I was saying a couple of weeks ago that I didn't truly believe that the Kings were in a position where, sure, they could have taken a swing. They could have tried to go out and get a Kyle Kuzma or Jeremy Grant or Cam Johnson, whoever you want to say, Draymond Green. But the reality is there's a risk to that. Like, things could have gone well, but also that fit it could have gone poorly. It could have gone as well as bringing back Harrison Barnes. And instead they made sure they kept the foundation as it is. And they're just going to add Sasha. They're going to add Chris Duarte. They've just brought in better pieces to add to the overall
Forgot to mention
depth.
Duarte. Thank you.
Yeah. No problem at all. It's they made sure that they added to the depth instead of, possibly making themselves a second or third round team, which they still definitely can be. But to me, it's just an alternate route, is being deeper and having more options. As we talked about a lot during the Warriors series, Warriors had tons of different options that they could go to. Kings had their 7 guys, and that was just about it. Couldn't really, if Keegan Murray wasn't playing well, they could maybe go to Trey Lyles, but that was really their only other option. Now they have Vezenkov. They can slide people up. There's just a lot more positional versatility, and that's, I think, going to bode well for their overall success.
There were 3 guys that a lot of Kings fans thought would be an upgrade over Barnes, and a lot of Kings fans either hoped and or believed the Kings would be in on these guys. So let's look at what happened to, first of all, Kyle Kuzma, and it doesn't look like he had a lot of interest.
Doesn't seem
he
like
was
it.
not going to get from anybody else what he got from Washington, so he goes back to Washington. I was not excited. I don't think you were either. We were not excited about the Kuzma thing.
No.
But I understand.
Hell no.
Yeah. But for a lot of fans, it's like, oh, he would have been great. I don't think so. But okay, he was not a legitimate option. Jeremy Grant got a ton of money to stay in Portland.
A ton of
did
money.
you see how much the Nets gave Cam Johnson?
I did.
Like 4 years, 108?
A lot of dollars.
Yeah. I wish the Kings could have tried to get him, but it looks like the Nets were not going to let him
go. Budge. No, they were not going to budge. And, the Kings, if the Kings were going to throw an offer, it was probably going to be somewhere around that figure, and they probably would have thought, oh, there's no way the Nets are going to match this. And they clearly were intending to no matter what. So I'm kind of not surprised because he was part of the Kevin Durant return, and that's kind of all they have to show for it is Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and all the picks they got. But it was, you look at the Harrison Barnes contract, even people were upset about that, learning of that dollar figure right before free agency started. But once we saw all of those deals come in, looks like a bargain to me. Harrison Barnes at $18 million. It's I shouldn't say a bargain. That's definitely a fair price. Yes, it's a very reasonable price to land on Harrison Barnes. And I think that's a number that moving forward, it's not something they're going to be tied to. Like if they want to move on from HB, they can. If they feel like maybe HB is more of a bench player now, I think that's still a reasonable number to bring someone off the bench and be a contributor to the team still as well. I think it's fine. And, at the end of the day, looking at all those prices, I feel fine about what the Kings did.
Cap space doesn't mean what it used to mean. A lot of us got excited. We all got excited. Oh, cap space. What are they going to do? And NBA teams now, they don't create cap space to go get a big name like used to happen.
Right.
Even like 2019, we mentioned all the players that changed uniforms in free agency in 2019. Was it 7 of them?
Yes.
Big deals in 2019. And since then, there have been 2 $100 million 4-year contracts for players.
Changed teams.
Right? Yeah. And Van Vliet came close this year, but I don't think that was a 4-year deal. So it's different now. The one thing, though, that really is unsettling to me is that the Kings, to create this cap space, which they use to keep Sabonis, they had to give up a first-round pick to do that.
Yeah, that's one that we're going to probably realize not how bad of a move, but just it's not ideal. I think we'll realize that in a couple years, or maybe even by the end of this year, when it's like, oh yeah, like we did extend Sabonis, but we also could have just added Omax Prosper or someone that could have really helped in the rotation. And while it's fine, I'm not upset at the fact that they locked Sabonis down long term.
They didn't have to do it.
They didn't have to do it now. That's the thing, and that's how they chose to spend their cap space. It's fine. I'm not going to get too riled up about it, but I definitely understand why people would say, well, instead of using that to make a good gesture towards somebody, like, why don't you improve the team that still has some holes? Like, I definitely understand that angle.
Yeah, to me, it suggests 2 things, and I haven't talked to the Kings, and they haven't had an announcement on this, but it suggests, 1, they were concerned about Sabonis, and they just wanted to lock him down and get that done with.
Yeah.
And then 2, they really do have a great deal of faith in the core.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they have now locked into De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis at least for the next 3 years. I think you're right that they kind of didn't want to have this. We think Sabonis is going to stay, but will he looming over this season along with a Malik Monk possible contract extension as well?
I understand that.
But to your point, it's showing a lot of faith that De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis can lead this team to playoff success in the future. And, but they're now kind of locked into that moving forward. They have those 2 guys, and when they re-sign, or if they re-sign Malik, they're going to have to pay Keegan Murray at some point too. I think that this is kind of the foundation or the core that the Kings are going to have moving forward, and they clearly believe in it.
So where does the improvement in your estimation come from? We'll talk a lot about that today. Clearly, Vezenkov, they hope he brings something, and the bench, you already alluded to the fact that the bench should be better. But for the Kings to be better than they were last year, where does the improvement come from? Because, again, keep in mind, every year, everybody's trying to get better. So if you're standing pat, well, all right, you love your core. How are you going to get better when everybody else ahead of you and behind you, they're trying to get better too?
Right. I think you're banking on guys improving. Like I think you're banking on a really big jump from Keegan Murray from year 1 to year 2. I think
player development.
Yeah, essentially, and that's that's a risk in itself. Is okay. We think our guys can be better, but
It's working because he dominated in summer league. So
did,
clearly,
right. Absolutely, yeah.
Clearly
So
it's
way
true.
better. It's true, and but it's not just Keegan. It's also like, can De'Aaron get better? Can his shot get better? Domantas Sabonis isn't a perfect player.
They need a lot from Duarte, don't they?
Yeah,
they could stand to get a lot from him.
Yes,
They would benefit
I
from
think
that.
so. I mean, especially with his positional versatility, he can play the 2, he can play the 3 as well. If he can go back to the Duarte of old, or his rookie year where he was 14 points per game and playing off Sabonis, I think, that's a huge benefit to Sacramento. And again, just another plug and play guy that they can throw in there and not really worry. He's also low maintenance, not really somebody who needs to have the ball in their hand a ton to be effective. So I think the Kings are really just banking on internal progression in order to be better. And also, I think, I do think that they're banking on Sasha Vezenkov really being a piece that helps them this year a lot. Like I would not sleep on. I think Sasha's going to finish a good percentage of games this year.
What do you think of this comment on the YouTube chat from, once again, 12 Mulatu? To me, Monty is content with just making the playoffs, period. He has fallen in love with his own work. And if it stands pat, it'll most likely lead to an early playoff exit.
Wow.
Happy 5th of July.
Jeez. Shots at Monty. Well, first off, I would just like to say that we cannot forget that this team is still coming off 16 years consecutively of not making the playoffs. So having a goal of making the playoffs and being like
a realistic goal.
I think that's fine. And again, like the Kings did not have to make this massive jump from year 1 to year 2 in terms of, okay, we made the playoffs. Now let's try and really be a title contender. It takes some time here. Like, look at the progression of Denver. Look at Phoenix, other teams. It takes time to build this thing out. You can't just go from not making the playoffs forever to, now these guys are title contenders every single year.
You're right. I mean, look into football, like the Lions, your team, as they're building towards, last year just missed. This year, maybe a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
contender.
maybe they'll be 500 at some point. Maybe the Lions will do that.
Sorry, maybe that's not a good example. I know you're
It's
not.
No, it's not at all. It's a terrible example, actually. I think, it's terrible. God, don't give. Football is right around the corner, and I can feel the Lions hype already building. It's building to that Week 1 matchup against the Chiefs. If the Lions beat the Chiefs, I'm going to have a lot to apologize for. But yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with Monty McNair having his eyes set on the playoffs and then figuring the rest out later. As long as it's not going on 3 years from now. But I think for the immediate time, I'm okay with Monty McNair just having playoff goals.
Yeah, the Kings need to be better next year. How do they do that with this roster? More on that coming up also. Could Dame Lillard be headed to Utah? That's next on Chris and Company with Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Nature Wood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Hey, it's Nick Cattle suggesting you celebrate your 4th of July the right way with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers from Green Acres Nursery and Supply. Our Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill has turned us into pros. Napoleon grills have features other grills can't match. Built different, built better, and built to last. All made with premium steel that boasts absolute quality. Just go to Napoleon.com for your nearby Napoleon Grills dealer. Napoleon Grills, now is the time for the best selection of grills and fine accessories. Now is the time to take care of your 4th of July.
Prestige line comes with a lifetime warranty.
Attention contractors and DIY enthusiasts. Don't miss the ultimate DeWalt sale event at Fasteners Tool Outlet in Sacramento this Saturday, July 8th. Unbeatable prices on DeWalt power tools and one-day-only deals with free batteries and tools. Grab a 4-piece brushless combo kit for $299 and save up to 50% on select hand tools and accessories. Again, that's July 8th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 6701 Power Inn Road. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Y'all ready to do it again, Sacramento? Country in the Park 2 is coming to Heart Health Park at Cal Expo Saturday, September 9th with Cole Swindell, Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, and more. Plus, a mechanical bull, line dancing saloon, and all the food. Tickets start at $40 or grab your Coors Light Y'all Access passes for $125. For more info, visit SactownSports.com. Country in the Park 2, brought to you by Hoblet Dodge, E2 Family Winery, and Hyatt Vacation Club.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and, and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Little America Mission King of the Baggers at Laguna Seca, July 7th through 9th. See, feel, and hear the power of Harley-Davidson and Indian motorcycles going head-to-head on the track. Moto America Mission King of the Baggers at Laguna Seca, July 7th through 9th. Get your tickets today at MotoAmerica.com.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Laud with your Sactown Sports headlines. Over the long holiday weekend, the Kings made a couple of moves. First was the Kings and Domantas Sabonis agreeing to a 5-year, $217 million extension. They also came to an agreement with EuroLeague MVP Sasha Vezenkov for 3 years and $20 million. Day 2 of the California Classic is today at the Golden One Center. The Classic will start with the Warriors against the Hornets at 3. That will be followed by the Spurs and Lakers, and it will end with the Kings taking on Jaime Jaquez Jr. and the Miami Heat at 7. You can listen to tonight's Kings Heat game starting with game night at 6 and tip-off scheduled for 7 right here on Sactown Sports. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Chris and company with Whitey and Watkins.
Two narratives right now running simultaneously on the YouTube chat. One is that the Kings, yeah, they did this, they did that, but they did not do enough to improve in the rebounding department, and that's where the Warriors killed them in playoffs last year. Again, this is what some people are saying right now on the YouTube chat. And then the other narrative is, hey, Sasha flew in last night, but he flew into SFO according to some Twitter reports, and I can neither confirm or deny anything here. This is unofficial. My understanding is he was supposed to fly in late last night and then fly into Sacramento.
Could we see Sasha today at the California
Classic?
Classic?
As I know, but that's just me trying to,
Interesting.
put 2 to 2 together and maybe ended up with 7. I don't know.
Sacramento Kings fans and tracking flights go hand in hand for some reason. I'm not the biggest. Why is that public information? That it makes me very uncomfortable. But yeah, I mean, it's good. It would be awesome to see Sasha back in Sacramento today. Obviously, there's been tons of waiting of will he, won't he? It'll be just be good to finally have him in the building, and hopefully he can stay here in Sacramento for the remainder of the summer and all the way leading into camp, so he can kind of just get as comfortable as possible. Because I think I heard Bogdan Bogdanovic talk about this actually the other day in an interview, where he just talks about, the basketball is one thing. It's really tough to get accustomed from going from Europe to NBA, just the speed and the pace that the game is played at. In the NBA is a whole lot different than Europe. There's some rules that are a whole lot different. Goaltending, obviously, is a big one that's just completely different in Europe than in the NBA. But also just like culturally getting comfortable and feeling, I mean, Sasha's moving all the way from Greece to Sacramento, California. That is a massive change for him, for someone who's been in that EuroLeague system his entire life. It's going to take some time to get adjusted to. And, the 2 months until they kind of get things kicked off for camp now seems like a really good time to do that. And I just hope that that it's enough time to get him kind of acclimated with everything as well, in terms of, words that they use and sets that they run and all that. And I'm sure they'll get that in his hands as soon as possible.
Do you remember Facundo Campazzo? He was on the Nuggets a couple years ago.
Yeah,
I don't know where he was last year. I don't think he's
forgot about
retired,
him.
but he was on the Nuggets for a couple years.
Yeah.
And he was asked what the biggest adjustment was. And you can look this up. He said, and it was, I think he said it in, was he Italian, whatever he is, or Argentinian? I apologize. I don't know. And that was translated. So maybe something's lost in the translation. But he said the hardest part was the trash talk.
Really?
Said, yes.
As in nobody does it like they do in Europe?
It is brutal.
Really?
It doesn't stop.
Wow. I would not have guessed that. From this soft league that we're in these days?
I'll try to find that for you, yeah.
Wow, that's
but I can see how
incredible.
that's, as you said, there are cultural differences.
Yeah.
And, I mean, to a degree, that's a cultural difference. United States
Sure.
basketball is a lot of trash talking, and European basketball, maybe not as much. But
Sure.
he said, oh, it was tough.
I'm sure guys are.
Win. Go home and cry on your pile of money.
He said some mean stuff to me, and it took me a long time to get over it, honestly. He called me shorty. I could see, how that would be something that you're not really, that's something that no one would prepare you for either. Like, I'm sure you hear pace of play. Oh, the way they set screens here is a lot different, all this stuff. But the thing that no one would ever say is, man, get ready, because they're going to talk your ear off just the entire game. And, I'm sure it depends what teams you're going against. I'm sure some are louder than others, but that would definitely be a culture shock, just in terms of this guy's eighth guy off the bench, and even he is talking and feeling himself and, acting like he's the best player on the team. I'm sure that just doesn't happen over there in Europe.
From August of 2021, Facundo Campazzo got thrust into a bigger role than expected.
Yeah.
As a 30-year-old NBA rookie. What was the hardest part to adjust to? The speed of the game, the athleticism? He said, quote, "The trash talk is the hardest thing for me. There's a lot of talk. They rush you. It doesn't happen that much in the World Cup or the Olympics, but in the NBA, it's happening all the time. I'm shooting a three-pointer from the corner at the side of the opposing team, and you hear them say, 'Let him shoot. Don't put it in.' And I think that I can turn around and celebrate it. If it goes in, you turn around and you're the best. But if it doesn't go in, they get into your head. It's incredible."
Oof. Maybe that's why he's not in the league anymore. That's pretty mentally soft. I mean, it's one thing if, you're bringing the ball down the court and he's like, "Man, you're not in Europe anymore. I'm going to cross you all the way back to Bulgaria," whatever. I don't know. But come on, you're taking a corner three. That's base. That's floor level trash talk there.
Yeah,
I mean, if you make a three and it's fine, they're quiet. But when you miss, oh boy, they start.
Let
bro,
him shoot it.
Come on,
Hey, that's me.
That's not very nice. This is the design play. I'm supposed to stand here. Come on, bro. That's weak.
I'd appreciate it if
That's
you didn't
weak.
say that anymore.
That's weak. I would love it if Sasha seems like he would have an edge to him. I could see Sasha being a trash talker. I could see it. I would. Oh, if he can do that, if he can add that to his game too, just come in and bring
how
that
many
little.
different languages could he trash talk in?
That's great. Him and Sabonis, between the two of them.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And then I know Duarte speaks Spanish as well.
Oh, that's right.
Oh man, we could be throwing all kinds of things at people. We got Jordy as well.
Yeah.
Oh man. That's chemistry.
I think the most encouraging thing about Vezinkov, is it Vezinkov? I call her Vezinkov.
I don't know if we have official pronunciation.
All right,
I'll have to ask Scott Moak on that.
Yeah. The fact that, and he's a great shooter, but he plays so well off the ball.
Yeah.
You don't have to see him a lot to recognize that.
Yeah.
So many guys, I'll just, because we've seen them recently, or maybe you've watched them, like Wiseman come into the Warriors, Kuminga, it's like they couldn't play in the offense and they never quite figured it out. Vezenkov is already playing off the ball and on this team. So that's like, okay, that's not going to be a problem.
Right. Exactly. Very low maintenance. And you can put him wherever you want, and it feels like he'll figure it out. And that's one of the first things I realized about him was just like, not only knowledge of playing, but just spacing in general. Just, I think some people have as an innate sense, like, I can just tell, especially on the basketball floor, you just understand where to stand. And if somebody's here, you understand that, I need to give them some room to let them work, or, so my defender can shade off and then I'm open.
Yep.
He just has a great sense of that in terms of not only, actually cutting and moving, but also when to stand in the corner, where on the corner to stand, if he should slide a little bit more towards the wing, all those kind of stuff. Just his basketball IQ truly is what it is. It's really, really high. And I think that's the thing that's going to help him with the adjustment period the most. Is it's not somebody who's coming in really green and, everything is, I might know how to do something, but I don't know the why. Sasha seems to understand the why. And, in the NBA game, that's really hard to find, frankly.
Right.
Like, the really good players are the ones that have the basketball IQ. You're going to be able to figure it out on any team.
And they didn't run the offense through him.
No,
he was an
never.
effective player without having to have the ball all the time, playing off the ball. So that's going to work. Yeah. The rest of it, I'm especially concerned about the defense. But he's going to be a real key to them getting better this year. And we'll have to be patient, right? It's not like he can step in right away, I wouldn't think, and be starting. It's possible, but he's probably going to be a totally different player by January.
Yeah, no, I think this is going to be the year where we, as Kings fans, all kind of fully embrace it doesn't matter who starts, it's who finishes. And I think Sasha and HB are going to kind of embody that. Like, I think HB's probably going to start every game, but I think more times than not, especially if Sasha's going, it could be Sasha. If Malik is going, I think HB is going to be the first one out of that rotation. I think it's going to be a lot more important on closing.
Pardon me. That's reminiscent of, Corliss is starting, but Page is going to finish.
Sure. Yeah. Exactly. No, the exact same. And it's true. Like, it's a cliche, but that's what matters. Like, it's not about who starts the game. It's about who's in the game when it's 5 points with 5 minutes to go, and who you trust to end the game for you.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think of this Dame going to Utah thing? Have you heard anything about this?
Jay Mars brought it up to me yesterday, and I really like the fit. Kind of makes a lot of sense. It kind of makes a lot of sense when you think about it. I mean, Weber State is in Utah. So if there is a second home for Dame, or a third home, I guess, for Dame behind Oakland and behind Portland, it would kind of be Utah, where he spent 4 years playing college basketball. I was there for the All-Star game when Dame put on the Weber State jersey to do the 3-point shootout. The crowd loved it. The crowd absolutely loved it. I think that there's already a connection there from the fans to Dame. I don't know if Dame has similar feelings towards Utah, but they have the assets as well.
Definitely.
Obviously, with all the Gobert and the Mitchell assets.
Better offer,
tons, way better than anything Miami could throw out them. And you have Danny Ainge. You have a really big front court of Walker Kessler and Lauri Markkanen. You have a fantastic, maybe. I said this the other day, maybe the best coach Dame has ever had already in Will Hardy. I think it's a really good fit for Dame. It might not sound attractive on paper, but I think once he's actually in there, especially with the success Utah had last year, I think that could be a really dangerous team.
Yeah, the whole key is Dame. Does he have any desire to go there? If he doesn't, and you're the Blazers, you could say, well, we don't care where you want to go. But if I'm Utah, it's like, I don't want to give you a bunch of assets for a guy who doesn't want to be here.
Yeah, but I don't know if it matters. He's got the contract signed, isn't it? I think he's got 3 or 4 more years left on the contract. So that's kind of where Dame can pick to go where he wants, but the Blazers do not have to oblige. And I don't know if it's like, is Damian Lillard just going to retire? I have a tough time seeing that.
Yeah, you're right. I just don't know if I'm Utah, if I want to take on those issues, those headaches.
Sure.
You can get Dame, but I'll go there, but I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
You have to.
At least you can talk yourself into familiarity.
Up next, how do you feel about what some are calling, or at least I'm calling it, the depurpleization of the Kings? Next on Chris and Company, Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Need your Niners fix? Sactown Sports has you covered.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think Trey looks significantly better than he did last year. I really do. I think his confidence is there. I think that He's throwing really good passes. I mean, just watching him, he just looks so much more comfortable and confident in the pocket, and I really appreciate that from him, from all the work that he's put into it. He just looks like he's having fun, because when he's out there having a good time, it definitely brings up everyone around him.
Get all your 49ers coverage leading into the 2023 season at Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Hey, guys. This is Keenan Thompson. I have a problem with you. Yes, you. None of y'all told me that AutoTrader has millions of new and used cars that I can shop from home. I thought we were friends. I put smiles on your face, but I'm not smiling. No one told me that with AutoTrader, a dealer can deliver cars to my home, or that I could shop by price on AutoTrader. No one. Consider this friendship that you just learned we had officially over. Finally, it's easy. AutoTrader.
Get your superhero squad together and join forces as we take on the Minnesota Twins on Saturday, July 15th during Marvel Superhero Day. All fans can enjoy this special Marvel-themed day at the ballpark, along with fun photo opportunities, character appearances, and in-game features as part of the fun. Get there early to snag a Captain Marvel bobblehead presented by Extra Mile. Tickets start at just $10 and are available at athletics.com/tickets. That's athletics.com/tickets.
Sacramento, get ready for the launch of Flex Power Tools at Fasteners Tool Outlet. Come on down Saturday, July 15th for a one-day Flex Tool launch party. Witness live demos, score unbeatable deals on all Flex products, and get a free 3.5 amp hour 24-volt battery with every kit purchase. Grab a rear handle saw kit with a free 10 amp hour battery for just $299. Power up with Flex at Fasteners Tool Outlet. Don't miss it. Saturday, July 15th at 6701 Power Inn Road. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net.
What's going on? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. 4th of July sales event is finally here. Chad, tell me what's going on at Hoblet.
Well, for a very short time, we're offering the biggest savings so far in 2023 with up to $12,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Ram 1500 Laramie, Longhorn, and limited crew cabs. That means you can get one of the most luxurious and popular trucks on the road, starting at only $49,995. Plus, Hoblet is California's #1 Ram truck dealer, so you can take advantage of our huge selection with over 500 trucks available, including those hard-to-find heavy-duty trucks.
Okay, but what makes Hoblet better than the dealer down the street?
We have no surprise fees, add-ons, or dealer markups, just savings. One of the many reasons we received the Walter P. Chrysler Award for outstanding customer service for 3 years in a row now. Plus, with Hoblet's peace of mind guarantee, you can buy with confidence.
Stop by their Hoblet Ram Truck Center for a test drive today, or search, select, and save through the whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Best prices, best selection, period.
12,000 total net savings after 8,000 factory rebates and 4,000 dealer discount. 10 at this net savings. Sample VIN 549186. Must be California resident. Qualify. See dealer for details.
Sitting at your desk, watch Chris and Company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Dame has stood by the Blazers for all these years, but finally officially asking out. So where will he go? Everyone's been assuming, or at least I've been assuming, he's going to go to Minnesota. Wants to play with Bam Adebayo, right?
Miami.
But
Yeah,
did I say Minnesota? Sorry. Yeah, Miami. Thank you.
I thought you were breaking some news.
I know. I was like, hold on. Cat trade.
Yeah, Miami. Anyway, a lot of people now say, hey, don't sleep on the Utah Jazz.
Okay, don't sleep on the Jazz. Okay.
They've got the wherewithal to make a really attractive offer. Danny Ainge had said something kind of cryptic recently about how, hey, if there's a big player available, game changer, we're certainly going to be in the conversation.
Sounds like Danny.
And I think at the time people thought he was referring to the possibility of Luka becoming available. But if he meant what he said, it certainly would apply to this case as well.
Absolutely. I mean, Danny Ainge is the kind of guy who would go out and get Damian Lillard. I mean, he's would also win the trade. So I would be on high alert if I were Portland making a deal with Danny Ainge. I wonder, we just went through how much sense it frankly makes from the Utah perspective. I just wonder if that's really what's going to happen, just because of that relationship that Portland has with Dame. It feels like they really want to do right by. I mean, even this whole dance of will they trade him, won't they trade him, was all in the name of we don't want to upset Dame and we don't want to be known as, the guys that upset the guy who really wanted to stay here long term. So I wonder if they would actually execute that without Dame's full support. That would be my only holdback.
You'd get maybe Tyler Hero, and maybe you'd get
Tyler Hero, maybe
Kyle
Duncan
Lowry.
Robinson.
Yeah, you get some pick swaps and a first rounder, and it'd be like,
but what is that on a Damian Lillard led Miami team?
Exactly.
That's
this is Damian Lillard.
Right.
Look what freaking Rudy Gobert brought back.
Gosh,
Yeah.
right. I mean, and what Toronto's asking for a guy like OG Anunoby, it's like if that's, and then who knows? Maybe they'll wait and see what a Harden trade even looks like. I think it's going to be really tough to make that Miami thing make sense unless it's going to be a 3-team deal, because we're talking about, and I know Lillard's definitely on the back 9 of his prime.
Doesn't come close to playing full season.
Yeah, right. And so it's kind of tough to gauge what his perfect value is, but it doesn't feel like Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson and Kyle Lowry are enough, in my opinion, if you're Portland.
No, I mistakenly said Minnesota. I meant Miami. But if he ends up going to Minnesota, I can still take credit for that, right?
Absolutely. No, you can say first. You could say first. You had it here first.
Yeah.
Okay. And
I will.
Frankly, if we want to go, I know it was a slip, but like a cat trade is something that would make a lot of sense. Like would you rather have Karl Anthony Towns, at least especially from hey, fan base, we just traded the face of our franchise for the past 15 years. Would you rather say, here's Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson, or think what you will about Karl Anthony Towns? Karl Anthony Towns, a center who's 27 years old, entering his prime, definitely about to get a massive contract
Nurkic
extension.
in the deal.
That would be great. I mean, Nurkic's contract.
But
I'm a genius.
If I
Makes sense to me.
If I am Portland, you throw Jaime Jaquez in there, and we might have ourselves a deal.
That man's untouchable, Chris. Come on. After what I saw on Monday, Jaime Jaquez is not for sale.
I think I saw it suggested that the Heat are showcasing people at the California Classic for this trade.
Well, boy, oh boy, Jaime Jaquez had quite a showcase. I mean, I came away from Monday. I think Jaime Jaquez had the play of the day, and he was probably the player of the day, even with Keegan Murray's 29 points. I came away really, really impressed with Jaquez. And
Better than Lester Quinones?
Man, Quinones was more like cojones. I was like, this guy is from everywhere. Cojones was incredible.
Yeah.
Or Quinones. I'm sorry, I actually was calling him cojones. Is it Guy Santos?
Yes,
I
that's
kept
my
wanting
guy.
to call him Guy Santos.
Yeah. But he's
him
like
as
5
well.
for 13 or something.
He
I
was-
like him.
And Podzemski. The Warriors. I wasn't there. I was there, but I was not. Did not love the Warriors G League or Summer League performances besides their two-way guys. But yeah, Jaime Jaquez, if that gets thrown into the deal, again, it's probably not still as sexy as Karl Anthony Towns, but Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, and Jaime Jaquez, that's a good start.
Yeah.
That's definitely a good start.
The thing I thought I could tell about Podzemski, and again, to make any sort of judgment after one game is probably stupid, but what are you going to do?
Yeah.
The way he, it's kind of like dribble, drive, motion stuff, just to draw and kick.
Yeah.
In the Warrior offense, you'll have opportunities to do that, and instead of kicking it out to Craig Sword, it'll be like Steph Curry over there. Or
That
something.
guy,
yeah.
I thought he did a great job of that. He did do a really good job of dribble penetration and just swinging the ball out to
He
corners.
understands.
You could see that passing ability there too. It's like just like the innate sense of being able to whip the ball to the other corner the way that he does. Like that's something that's super translatable. And you could see, like you're saying, how if that pass is going to Steph Curry, that's really helpful. And somebody else who can have the ball in their hands, that's going to bode well for Golden State. It's just, where does he play? Especially with Chris Paul being thrown into the mix. Gary Payton is going to need some minutes.
Chris
Obviously,
Paul's not going to play at all until like April.
You don't
he's
think?
going to be on
Yeah, they're just going to try and make him available for the playoffs. Maybe. I mean, I could definitely see that because I think Chris Paul's value to Golden State is definitely in the postseason and not in the regular season, and especially with how his health has shaken up pretty much the entirety of his career. I don't know if I would be opposed to Golden State kind of easing Chris Paul.
Yeah, I'm exaggerating, but I wouldn't be surprised if they tried something like that.
Yeah.
Remember last year, Miami didn't necessarily take the regular season that seriously, and they almost won the whole thing.
Right. Well, and Golden State doesn't have to look that far to see the Lakers, to an extent. It doesn't really matter where you're seated. If you're a good enough team, you should be able to in this NBA, like it seems like it's even enough between the teams where you can realistically have a shot. It's just a matter. I don't know if Golden State's built. They have tons of guards. Golden State still has the perpetual problem of centers.
Yeah.
There's no, but they have not addressed that one bit.
That's one of the reasons the Kings had the success they did. They took the regular season seriously.
Very seriously.
Yeah.
And I wonder, I that's another proponent for having depth, is that I don't know if the Kings are going to find the same injury luck that they did last year. If you can patchwork some guys together, I think, and take the regular season as seriously as they did last year, I think that's a really good way for the Kings to build on the season they had last year in what's probably going to be a tougher Western Conference.
Now, Chris, how do you feel about what everyone is calling now the de-purpleization of the Kings? Although they did introduce the statement jersey today, and it does have a significant amount of purple on it, although it kind of fades.
It fades out. What does it do, huh? It fades the purple out. It's a slow transition. Look, if I can put my tinfoil hat on just for a minute here.
Please.
The Kings made a lot of references in that initial jersey release video of we're getting rid of purple, where there's a purple shortage because of how much purple we're putting into the beam. They at the end of the video say a whole lot more swagger and a whole lot less purple. There's just a ton of references to less purple. I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow, but again, tinfoil hat on, it just to me feels like, for whatever reason, these guys are slowly integrating out purple. And I could be overreacting. I could be reading way too much into something that's not there.
Yeah, and I have no problem with any of your theories, but why do you think that might be?
I've heard some things in the past about the Kings wanting to change colors and, just it not being the right time, essentially. And that's always been in the back of my head. And also just, I think it was a weird decision at that commercial, they, again, really just hyper fixate on no more purple. Like we're getting rid we don't have purple to give.
I've heard, and I think I talked to Dave about this, so maybe he's the one that told me, but I've heard it before I talked to him, that the players don't like purple. And if that's true, okay. Sure. But I can't imagine that any one roster on any team would say, hey, we don't like this
What's
color.
Up with this purple thing?
As a franchise, all right, we'll move off of that. I mean, it would have to be more than that, I would think.
No, it would have to be like a star franchise keynote player. If the Kings had Steph Curry and Steph Curry was like, this purple thing, like I've tried to make it work with the brands and like it just doesn't mesh well, then sure. But like you're saying, like there's been so much roster turnover, and unless it's De'Aaron Fox, and even then, I love De'Aaron. I don't know if he has that level of pull with the franchise yet. That theory doesn't quite. That theory is crazy to me.
Okay,
that's
sorry
wild.
About your tinfoil
that
hat.
is insane.
Actually, I agree with
sound
that.
insane.
That's
right
what
now.
I was trying to make the point, that I don't believe that theory holds much water. Coming up next, the Sabonis deal. Did the Kings pay too much? Next.
Ooh, interesting.
Chris and Company. He's Watkins. I'm Whitey, Sactown Sports.
Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No. We tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our client's best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Everyone loves to be outside, and so do mosquitoes. Protect yourself against mosquitoes and West Nile virus by following these simple tips. At least once a week, look around your yard and drain stagnant water from any containers where mosquitoes can breed. Remember to use an effective mosquito repellent, especially at dawn and dusk when mosquitoes are most active. Close all doors and be sure screens are in good working condition. At the Mosquito and Vector Control District, we're here to help. Visit us at fightthebite.net.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports' IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com and sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's film at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlad with your Sactown Sports headlines. Over the long holiday weekend, the Kings made a couple of moves. First was Kings and Domantas Sabonis agreeing to a 5-year, $217 million extension. They also came to an agreement with EuroLeague MVP Sasha Vezenkov for 3 years and $20 million. Day 2 of the California Classic is today at the Golden One Center. The Classic will start with the Warriors against the Hornets at 3, followed by the Spurs and Lakers, and it will end with the Kings taking on Jaime Jaquez Jr. and the Miami Heat at 7. You can listen to tonight's game with the Kings and the Heat, starting with game night at 6 and tip-off scheduled for 7 right here on Sactown Sports. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Chris and company with Whitey and Watkins.
Wow, YouTube chat all over the place here in the Kings, and what we think is an effort to gradually phase out purple.
Can't imagine people are happy about it.
Some people are. Scout
Really?
Recycler says royalty equals purple.
Sure.
Scooter 916 says please get rid of the purple.
Okay.
Minimal purple, please.
Oh,
yeah.
I think I've always had a tough time clothes-wise, like matching with purple. It's a little tough. Like
You're
the
a
only
Vikings fan. You should be all over the purple.
It's very tough. It's very tough.
Team wears purple. You love them. Let's go Rockies.
Kind of that simple. Yeah, Rockies. Big Rockies guy. Who else is purple around there? Diamondbacks, not really.
They used to be.
Kind
right?
of, yeah. No, we need more purple teams, actually. Ugh. Now I'm realizing the Lakers are the other purple team, too.
And I've always wondered if that's part of the issue. It's like purple is the Lakers.
Yeah, it kind of is. Like, I mean, it's, purple and yellow, and the Kings are purple and black, I guess. Like, they could, but the problem is, I mean, what if they go back to blue and red? I mean, blue is still the Warriors' main color. I guess maybe they can be different shades.
Yeah, it's a darker blue.
Yeah, I guess so. It's more of a royal blue, if you will.
Yeah, I think it's literally because they were Royals.
And then Golden State, I guess, is a little bit of a softer tone, but whatever. Vivek has always wanted to be the Warriors, so it would lean right into that.
I'm okay with the new uniforms. I wish any team, now not just the Kings, football teams do this all the time. They'll say, here's a new uniforms, and you have to really squint to figure out how is it different.
What is new about them?
Okay, that script is a little different. If you're going to change it, just change it.
That's how I felt. The Cardinals, I think, did that last year. The Browns have done that.
Yes.
There's been a couple. The Bengals did that a couple years ago, too, where it's like,
the stripe now is not above the shoulder. It's across the bicep.
Yes.
To represent the Three Rivers.
Yes, Chris.
Like, what?
That's my favorite part.
Yes.
That is hands down my favorite part is, this represents the flow of the city and how everybody is integrated into one big
Did you see
family.
the Browns released a new logo that's a dog's head?
Yes, I did.
And it's like one of the ears is the state of
the
Ohio.
state of Ohio.
There's all kinds of things going on there. It's like,
love that.
That's too much.
That's way too much, especially – I have like mild background in graphic design. When people are very specific about like, I want a dog, but I also want it to integrate the state of Ohio and the feeling of culture and all of and it's like, all right, like I was just gonna. It's a nightmare. So shout out to all those graphic designers.
It needs to be minimalist, but has everything that I'm asking for.
Yes, as minimal as possible, but I need all of these very specific details to be included.
Yeah. So we'll see. What becomes of purple.
I mean, it's the new jerseys are reminiscent. Did you like the old
today?
I'm sorry. Yes, the statement jerseys. I know. I need to learn the titles of these. It's reminiscent of the Kings throwbacks, right? Like they used to have the half black, half purple with checkerboard. I know
checkerboard is a little bit, evocative of, and I don't think they were very good then when they wore those.
No. Yeah. And that's another thing too. How long have Kings fans been clamoring? Just bring back the early 2000s jerseys. Just do it. Just even if it's one a year as like an alternate. Those are the only jerseys I've ever heard anyone say they actively want for the Kings.
Mm-hmm.
And they just continue to dance around it.
Mm-hmm.
Just bring it back. They're black jerseys, they're white jerseys, and they're purple jerseys. They're very simple. It's not that hard. Everybody liked them. Just go back to that.
So do they not have the gray ones this year? Because I kind of like those. Okay.
They were fine. Yeah, they grew on me. I really didn't like them at first, and now I'm just kind of they're whatever. I think they look fine on person.
Are they bringing back the gold standard jerseys?
No.
It's just a question. Are you all right? What happened there?
No. I cannot stand them. Those are so bad.
I think it was just because they are not the best jersey. Okay. But on top of that, that was like the beginning of the end.
Yes. Those are Quincy Doobie era.
So everyone is just like, I don't want to remember any of that.
Yeah.
Bring them back now and they'll be great.
What's everyone complains about them, but every Kings game you'll see about 4 or 5 of them walking around.
Well, they're just very polarizing. Like either you love them or you absolutely cannot stand them.
Only 2 players, Mike Bibby or Ron Artest.
Oh, I've seen Kevin Martin's.
Oh, really?
I've seen some Kmart's out there. Yeah. If I see a Quincy Doobie one, that's a real fan. That's a real fan.
Yeah, Quincy Doobie comes up on this show
a lot.
And I'm totally there for it. Yeah, a lot more than his stats.
It's
his production would warrant.
Quincy Doobie's a very important player for my Kings fandom because that, like Chris said, I mean, that's kind of like the demarcation of this is when the ship started sinking. And it sunk very fast. Sorry, probably not the I guess we're past
no. Yeah,
stuff. That's fine.
Yeah.
Too soon for the Titanic joke. Sorry.
I think that's allowed. Tragedy plus time equals what? Comedy. Yes,
exactly. Everybody knows that.
Yeah. Domantas Sabonis has agreed to a contract renegotiation and extension for a total of $217 million over 5 years.
Similar to our contracts.
I mean, in that it's a contract.
It is
and
a
there's
contract.
some money in it.
Yeah.
That's where the similarity. That's where the similarity ends. John Hollinger says that is a full bag for Sabonis.
Yeah.
He'll be making, in his age 28 through 31 seasons, Sabonis will be making more than $40 million a year.
That's hefty.
Hollinger in The Athletic asks, did the Kings really need to go this far? He says, all to pay, they shot a first-round pick into the sun, all to pay Sabonis a deal that it seems, this is Hollinger's opinion, it seems unlikely anyone would have offered next summer when the Kings would have still had full bird rights on him.
I guess I have to be fair on this because I was just the other day criticizing teams like Dallas and Houston for why would you pay Kyrie Irving and Dylan Brooks that money when to Hollinger's point there, I don't think they're competing against anyone. I don't know who was going to throw Kyrie Irving $30 million
against yourself. Yeah, you're outbidding yourself.
So in that sense, Hollinger's kind of completely correct in saying I have a tough. If Sabonis would have hit the open market next year, I don't know how many people are casually throwing around $40 to even $35 million for a center.
There's also, he points out, you might have had an opportunity to sign other players with the $17 million, whatever. Doesn't mean you wanted to, but you might have.
I know there's a human element of this where you want Sabonis to feel good about your franchise, and it's also just a goodwill gesture, and it might reflect positively on you for future negotiations with other people. But like when you have a deal like Sabonis at $20 million, like that's a steal. When you have that, why would you sacrifice that? That's a really big chip. Like, you don't see the San Francisco 49ers saying, hey, Brock Purdy, we love you, man. You're the quarterback of the future. You're making pennies right now, and that's not right.
Right.
We want to pay you what you at least ballpark deserve to be paid. No, absolutely not. They're not doing that. They're going to say that's the best value in sports right now is Brock Purdy on a 7th round contract deal. Let's exploit that as much as we can and build around until that we have to pay that contract. And so to me, that's where for the Sabonis thing, it's like you had him on a bargain. You had $8 million that you used towards him that you probably could have used to sign maybe a backup center, maybe another wing, maybe another playmaker, anything like that. You could have improved this year's team right now, which also could have affected Sabonis's decision in the future to stay. So in that sense, I get it. But also, we're talking about the Sacramento Kings here, and the Sacramento Kings do not have a track record of players this good. And when you have a player that good, lock him up. Lock him down.
Lock him down?
So,
yeah.
Devil's advocate.
Yeah, I think I agree. I know we touched on this earlier. I think, to me, it suggests that there were two things going on, among other things. But one is, to your point, they were looking at big picture and saying, who knows what's going to happen, and maybe he won't want to come back. We have the chance now to get this done. Let's get it done. He's that important to us. And going hand in hand with that is how much the front office believes in this core.
Right.
He's maybe our best player, certainly one of our two best players, and he absolutely is part of our foundation now going forward. So we don't want, whether he's going to stay or not, hanging over this upcoming season. It's a big season. Let's get it done.
Yeah, and I get that. I totally understand that, and I think that I'm not going to say it's the wrong decision to make. It's just it's an alternate route that they decided to pick. I think they could have benefited from using that money, but at the end of the day, like, you spent that money on locking down a guy for 5 years also. Like, that's a really long time to have that level of comfort that Sabonis is going to be here for that.
In just about any case, to the point you made about the 49ers, I would not give a guy the money if I didn't have to.
Yes.
Ahead of time.
That's exactly how I think, and I'm not
you're just
trying to say
assuming so much risk for that much money, unless you're like, well, if we don't do this, he's gone.
Right. Exactly.
I'm just like, even, when the Warriors signed Jordan Poole to that extension last year, it's like, why are you doing that?
Goodwill gestures usually are only beneficial for the player. Like it really how it is. Like, it usually isn't in the long-term benefit of the franchise. And again, it might be a goodwill gesture, and maybe you'll get some karma points moving forward with Sabonis's agent, but financially, it's not the right decision to make, but it's also not necessarily a bad thing. Like, I don't think it's going to cripple the Kings in any sense, but it's, it's just the decision they decided to make.
And one more point. Yeah. Pardon me, Chris. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
One more point
Whitey
I want to
and
make.
Watkins. Go ahead.
Want to make one more point on that Sabonis deal when we come back. Also, the NBA's new anti-flopping rule sounds good, but I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it can work.
It's really strange.
That's coming up next year on Watkins and Whitey here. It's Chris and Co. The final days of Chris and Co. Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports is your source for the 49ers.
Oh, it was awful. It was awful.
Did that leave a bitter taste in your mouth?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Me and Cal had a long meeting the other day. We watched tape. We talked about it. We put it behind us, and just going through the tape and just look how sluggish and like how bad it looked on tape. Like I said, just reflecting on last offseason, it kind of played a big role in that. I'll never put nothing like that back on tape again.
Tune into Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest 49ers offseason developments.
Hey, it's Nick Cattle suggesting you celebrate your 4th of July the right way with the amazing The
Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers from Green Acres Nursery and Supply. Our Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill has turned us into pros. Napoleon grills have features other grills can't match. Built different, built better, and built to last. All made with premium steel that boasts absolute quality. Just go to Napoleon.com for your nearby Napoleon Grills dealer. Napoleon Grills, now is the time for the best selection of grills and fine accessories. Now is the time to take care of your 4th of July.
Prestige line comes with a lifetime warranty.
Attention contractors and DIY enthusiasts. Don't miss the ultimate DeWalt sale event at Fasteners Tool Outlet in Sacramento this Saturday, July 8th. Unbeatable prices on DeWalt power tools and one-day-only deals with free batteries and tools. Grab a 4-piece brushless combo kit for $299 and save up to 50% on select hand tools and accessories. Again, that's July 8th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 6701 Power Inn Road. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net.
Keeping you company with the company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Look at this from Rich Ficker on the YouTube chat. I've told my friends for years I bleed purple. Now I'd have to delete that statement.
Yeah, bleeding blue blood. You know, you could be a blue blood or
Say I bleed black and white and silver. It's like that doesn't have the same.
Doesn't quite hit.
No,
doesn't quite hit the same. Black, white, and silver. Yeah, I would say, you should probably see a doctor for that one.
Scooter says the gold jerseys were hideous.
Yes, they were.
I mean, I think
we have one.
There's still a debate to be had.
I think there's one in the building somewhere. I'll have to go fetch it during a break. We can really analyze it, but it was not bad. It was not good. It was not good. I do like how the only thing that I would take from that jersey is, if I'm not mistaken, the lettering, the Kings lettering is very similar to what they just unveiled for these new jerseys.
Yes.
That lettering is purple. I don't like on the white jerseys that they just revealed. I think it's the Icon jerseys. It's black lettering, which is, again, making me believe that the Kings are phasing out purple. I don't understand why that's not a purple. Like, the black lettering just looks way too bland, generic, kind of reminds me of like the Stockton Kings. I am, I'm artist, emphasis on artist,
right?
Please. It doesn't really go. So I would take that purple lettering from those gold jerseys and put them on the white ones. That's it. Besides that, send those jerseys to Neptune, please. I never need to see them again.
On the one hand, it's like, who cares what they're wearing?
Yes,
but you're
definitely that. No, but also
the point you made about the gold jerseys at the time, and I remember it too. It's like, you see the gold jerseys, and as you said, things were starting to go the wrong way. The ball was starting to roll in the wrong direction for the Kings
and the Blues.
You couldn't help but see those and go, I don't think they know what they're doing anymore.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
You're just
absolutely.
Like, oh no.
Yeah, and that was not when Nike was making new jerseys every year, and it was like, oh, this is like a move that I think the Malou spearheaded, and we're like, we love this. Like, this is gold, and
remember
gold
what it's supposed
great.
to stand for? Kings fans, and I think they made Jerry go out on the floor and explain this.
Poor Jerry.
And I doubt that I've never talked about it. I doubt he had anything to do with it.
Out.
But I remember he had to say, Kings fans are the gold standard, and that's why these jerseys are gold.
Kings fans are the gold standard. That's why the players are going to be wearing them.
Yeah. Like I say, I'm sure it wasn't his idea.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah.
That is terrible.
So jerseys, uniforms can mean really more. Bad. And at a point here, excuse me. Well, at a point here where the franchise looks like they're starting to take off, then this is a significant statement.
Yeah, let's bring back gold. Let's do it. We can be the gold standard of the league. How about that? No, let's not do that, please.
Did you ever see the Denver Nuggets? I think it was a couple years. No, it was the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas Mavericks, a couple years.
Oh, my God, the silver
pajamas they wore.
Terrible.
Yeah, it was like silver silk pajamas.
Yes, they look like the Silver Surfer. Those were absolutely horrible. It was literally like it might have even been worse than the Kings gold jerseys.
I think it was.
Because there was like a satin, like it was like, shiny.
Why is Steve Nash wearing pajamas on opening night? Yeah.
It's very confusing. Definitely in the hall of very, very, very bad jerseys. The silver ones, the Kings gold ones. You know what I really didn't like recently? The Miami Heat's ransom letter Miami jerseys. That had
the serial killer font.
Wasn't a fan of those. Just, I don't know who
this might
approved
surprise you. Those are my favorite jerseys.
Really?
Yeah.
I
Did you like
the
the
Vice
Miami
City
Vice ones?
Yeah.
I did like that as well.
Those were the best ones in my opinion. And then they saw the success of that and were like, we'll just do that, but we'll throw some serial killer lettering on it for some reason.
Right.
It's like some ransom note stuff.
True crime is big now.
Mhm.
You know, especially in Miami. It gets hot in Miami for sure.
And then I think we talked about this weeks and weeks ago, but I kind of like the fact that Minnesota's jerseys with the different colors on them.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like the uniforms, but I do like the fact that everybody's uniform is different.
Yes.
The stripes
you
are in a
told me
different order of colors or yeah. So everybody has it. They're still uniforms, but they're a little bit different.
I really like the T-Wolves old ones that had like the tree outline on like around the edges.
Yeah.
Those were top tier jerseys. But besides that, I mean, I haven't really those, and I don't even like, you're right, I don't like those Timberwolves jerseys that have the rainbow behind it, but I do like the fact that they're all individual and unique.
And the thing that makes no sense to me is when you have, say, Memphis and they wear their Vancouver jerseys, which I remember one time seeing the Kings wearing Cincinnati Royals jerseys. It's like, that's an insult.
Right. Have the, is
you're not in
OKC going to wear
anymore.
You're
in
Sonics?
Sacramento.
Right.
Yeah.
Are they going to have the Clippers wear San Diego? Were they the Clippers as well?
They certainly
Diego?
were.
Okay. Are they going to wear San Diego Bison? Weren't they the Bison at one point? No? Okay. I thought they were.
You think of the Buffalo Braves. They used to be the Buffalo Braves.
Okay.
You're right
There you
on
go.
that.
There
San
we
Diego Bison.
There's tons of bison roaming around San Diego. You know, you're a
At the
San Diego
zoo?
guy. You know.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, at the Wild Animal Park.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a great place. That was
It is.
fantastic.
It
Much
is.
better than the San Diego Zoo.
The bison is like they're too numerous. There's too many bison here.
Yes.
Can we back off on the bison? Yeah. The NBA will be testing out a proposed in-game penalty for flopping during Summer League.
They
Nobody
called it
likes
the other day.
flopping. Yeah. Why'd you? I heard your reaction.
It's just like, I just don't think it's going to work. I don't think you can officiate flopping. Like, I think it's just one of those.
I actually agree with you 100%.
I think it's really hard to tell intent. Like, you can tell when people are selling it, but just because you sell it doesn't necessarily mean it's not a foul. Flopping to me should be, it's not a foul and you're trying to mislead me. I think that's really hard to determine.
Flop is about intent, and it's really hard, except for the most obvious cases, to know, okay, that guy's 280 pounds. And he just ran into that guy, and that guy fell back.
Right.
Did he mean to, or did he just get knocked over by somebody who's 280 pounds?
Right. Yeah. It's an impossible thing to determine, especially at the speed in which NBA basketball is played. Like, it's another thing that refs have to look out for.
I actually did not know that they just called it.
Yeah, they called it during Monday's game in the Cal Classic. I think it was during the Kings game. And the weird thing is they can retroactively go back and look at the next dead ball. They can go and look
what could go wrong
to see exactly what could go wrong. More replay and more refs decisions.
Player who commits the flop will be assessed an unsportsmanlike technical, which will not count toward personal fouls or lead to an ejection.
Okay.
Officials will, according to ESPN, will not be required to stop live play to call a flopping violation.
Right. So that's where it seems like most of them will be called at a dead ball. And I don't think it gets you the ball back either. It's just a one-shot penalty. At least that's how it played out on Monday.
It says here, a flop, which will be determined by referees at the game, will be penalized by awarding the opposing team one free throw and possession of the ball.
Wow. Okay. Well, how would that work if it's interesting? Okay. If it's at a dead ball, I just wonder if, I don't know, like that could be weird because it could be something that happened 3 minutes ago and now you're getting possession for it. That's strange. And these are why they're workshopping it during summer league. But I just think in general, that's a really, really hard thing to try and determine someone's intent on whether or not they're flopping or not.
So if I have the ball, sometimes a guy can flop when he has the ball, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So that means when I lose, other team gets a free throw and possession. Cause typically offensive foul, there's no free throws, but now there could be in theory. Just
yeah, that's a good point as well.
Figuring all this out.
Right.
And then the Board of Governors will meet later this month to vote. I think they're supposed to vote on the 11th.
Okay.
On any rule changes for the upcoming 23-24 season. So they'll
Interesting.
see how it goes during summer league, and then they'll make a decision. I don't like flopping, but I don't think this is going to work. So please don't adopt this rule.
Yeah, I don't think that's the answer. I think, if you're trying to, I don't know how you address the flopping issue, but I don't think that that this is going to be right. I don't think pausing the game for, even if it's going to be at a dead ball, I don't think looking back and trying to determine flops is a good use of referees' time.
I think I have the idea to stop flopping.
I'm going to bet that you don't, but I'd like to hear it.
I know he's got
I think I've got it. So there's no penalty, no foul. You flop, you get the call. But looking back on it, if you did flop, you have to have like almost like a scarlet letter put on your jersey, like a little sticker, like a flop.
Like an F.
And like for each one, you have to put it on your jersey. So like after like 6 or 7, like, whoa, look at this guy. He's not going to get any call. He's been flopping a lot. I'm not going to bring him anything.
But
it's like
guys,
Chris Paul with like 15 on his shirt.
Some guys would wear it like a badge of honor.
Right.
If, to your point there, you said that if you get the call, you get the call. Some guys would like, yeah, I flopped and I got the call. Look at this. Look how many times I did it.
Yeah. Should it be like, you know how for strikeout looking, it's a backwards K, right? Maybe like it could be if you get the call, it's like a backwards F or something.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's like, it's a successful flop.
The league tried to do something about flopping in 2012. Remember one time my daughter was at a basketball camp here in Sacramento, and she said, tomorrow they're going to teach us flopping.
What?
I said, you're not going to camp.
No, you're not
tomorrow.
going. Yeah, I'm not paying for that.
That's a good father.
But
Yep.
she did. So
Oh.
In 2012, the league implemented an anti-flopping rule that resulted in a warning, don't flop, and then an increasing amount of fines for every subsequent violation. However, there was no in-game penalty, and the rule has rarely been enforced, which is what the NBA does.
Right.
We're cracking down on this or this or this. And
2
like,
weeks,
yeah.
and then then it's never
In
ever
a month,
called
we're not
again.
going to hear about it
Like,
again.
did we see any transition take fouls pretty much the entire postseason? I don't remember ever seeing one. And that was supposed to be the big point of emphasis, was we're no longer, I mean, and it could have been that they just stopped doing it.
Players ask for those constantly.
Yes, they do. Yeah, they do. Yeah, it's
Take foul.
like this. Yeah, they just go like, it's the new, just winding your finger up, asking for a replay.
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to work. I just don't see, I can't see how this is going to
Maybe this is just, once again, the league is kind of rattling their sabers.
Sure.
Saying, you better watch out. We're coming for you, floppers.
Yeah. And it's also, it could just be posturing where it's like, see, we're trying to do something. We're trying to address the problem. It's just, it's hard. It takes time. Chris, how did they just give yellow cards in soccer, right? Like that's their solution for flopping. Like there's not really any penalty. It's just,
and it's still tough to
officiate.
Yeah.
Right?
The thing is, if you run into me, whether I flop,
right,
it's still a foul. If you ran
it's
into
still a
me.
foul, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the tough thing is, again, like just telling intent, like something you might sell something extra. Like if I run you over, it might not send you all the way back there, but it might take you back. But you're gonna jump all the way to the baseline to make sure that the referee sees it. Is that flopping? Technically, I guess, but
teach
the
spirit
spirit of it, right?
Yeah.
Teach the officials how to
Call
see it.
contact.
Yep.
If you see someone throw their arms out, but you don't see the contact, you didn't see a foul.
Yeah. No, it drives me insane when it's like, I mean, there's so many times too where it's like, that's something. Like there's these two guys just collided into each other. There's no way that there's no foul there. And so I would much rather have something called than nothing.
All right. Good luck.
Yeah,
we need
good
to
luck
do
with
something about
officials.
flopping, but I don't think this is it.
I don't either. I don't know what the solution is either. I know this is not it.
We'll come up with it. Maybe
We'll
not by
figure
the
it
end
out.
of the show, but we'll come up with
figure
a
it
solution for flopping. Up next, a brief history of EuroLeague MVPs in the
Ooh.
NBA. Coming up here, Chris and Company, Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Apparently, there is a cage match brewing between Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. Now, I hope this happens for many reasons. Number one, it just goes with the downfall of our society. Number two, nothing more fun than seeing super ultra mega billionaires just beat the hell out of each other. Number three, it would obviously be a terrible, terrible, terrible fight.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Y'all ready to do it again, Sacramento? Country in the Park 2 is coming to Heart Health Park at Cal Expo Saturday, September 9th. With Cole Swindell, Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, and more. Plus, a mechanical pool, line dancing saloon, and all the food. Tickets start at $40 or grab your Coors Light Y'all Access passes for $125. For more info, visit SactownSports.com. Country in the Park 2, brought to you by Hoblet Dodge, E2 Family Winery, and Hyatt Vacation Club.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, a Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. Finally, the 4th of July sales event is here. Chad, what's going on at Hoblet?
Right now, you can lease a new 2023 Jeep Wrangler Sahara 4xe for only $379 a month for 36 months with $49.95 due at signing. That's a savings of up to $13,500, or you can save up to $92.50 off MSRP, plus get $37.50 in federal tax credits for a total savings of over $13,000.
So whether I lease or buy the new 2023 Jeep Wrangler Sahara 4xe, I can save up to $13,000 or more?
Yeah, and now the only decision is which one you want, because we have a great selection of Wrangler 4xes with over 50 available.
Hey, find your perfect vehicle now when you search, select, and save at HobletDodge.com.
$13,500 in total net savings after $11,000 factory rebates and $2,500 dealer discount. Rebates include $7,500 federal tax credit, $3,000 carb rebate, and $500 California bonus cash. Must be California resident qualified. 36 monthly term, $49.95 cash due at signing, plus tax, license, and accessories on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. 25 cents per mile charge of over 10,000 miles per year. $92.50 total net savings after $57.50 factory rebates and $4,000 dealer discount, plus optional $37.50 tax credit may apply for buyers who meet current federal tax standards only. Subject to change. See your CPA for qualifications. For California residents only. 5 net savings. See dealer for details.
What if I told you there was a way to step into another gear for your brain and be much sharper, more focused, and improve your memory to a level that you could only dream about, and notice these results in 30 minutes? Hard to believe? Neuroscientists are calling this new brain discovery the biggest advancement in brain science to date. It's called Limitless, the brain pill of the future. Take it, and within 30 minutes, you'll transport your mind to a new level of focus and clarity you would have never thought possible.
I took Limitless and it started working in minutes. All of a sudden, it felt like a dark cloud had been lifted up right before my eyes. I have a mental clarity I've never felt before.
Biz execs, athletes, teachers, and students are calling Limitless a secret weapon for the brain. You have nothing to lose, so call now and find out how to get a free bottle today.
To find out how to get your free bottle of Limitless, call 800-605-3946. That's 800-605-3946. Get your free bottle for a limited time. Call now. 800-605-3946. 800-605-3946.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 916-277-8599 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
For a business to thrive, there needs to be a constant stream of new customers. This happens through strong lead generation. Did you know that lead generation is one of the most important tools of any marketing campaign? Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products and services to them. To get started today, contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results today.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlaud with your Sactown Sports headlines. Over the long holiday weekend, the Kings made a couple of moves. First was the Kings and Domantas Sabonis agreeing to a 5-year, $217 million extension. Next, the Kings also came to an agreement with the EuroLeague MVP, Sasha Vezenkov, for 3 years and $20 million. Day 2 of the California Classic is today at the Golden One Center. The Classic will start with the Warriors against the Hornets at 3. Will be followed by Spurs and Lakers, and will end tonight with the Kings taking on Jaime Jaquez Jr. and the Miami Heat at 7. You can listen to tonight's game with game night starting at 6 and tip-off scheduled for 7 right here on Sactown Sports. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Chris and company with Whitey and Watkins.
Congratulations to the Kings. They've signed the EuroLeague MVP, Sasha Vezenkov. What does that mean? How good are EuroLeague MVPs in the NBA? We'll take a look here at the brief history of EuroLeague MVPs in the NBA in just a moment. First, on Chris and company here, Watkins and Whitey, we've been talking about this proposed anti-flopping penalty. They're going to try it out in Summer League. Some interesting questions here on the YouTube chat. Jay Jolly asks, if you flop twice, are you ejected?
No, you said,
No.
I believe you said in the reading there that you will not, it does not count towards ejections at all. So you can flop 10 times a game, as a matter of fact.
It's what would be the terminology? It's an unsportsmanlike technical foul, will not count towards personal fouls or lead to an ejection. It's almost like an unpersonal technical foul.
So are on the screen, are they going to have like a different category for stats, like for your fouls and that?
Flops?
Are they going to have flops?
Huh.
We could add it on the hustle board.
Why not?
Little hustle
Yes,
board.
there you go. Someone
Patrick-
will track it.
Patrick Donaldson asks, could a team challenge a flop call?
I hope not. I
See, that's the
really,
thing.
really hope not.
I don't think so. Typically, unless it happened right then. It sounds like some of them they're going to go back after the fact. And then so you couldn't review something. Right. If they say, we decided that he flopped.
Yeah.
Well, I want to challenge it. Well, it's too late because it already happened.
It already happened.
Now that you brought that, I mean, flopping is a lot of what the challenge is to begin with. It's like, oh, it's not a foul. So now it's going to be like, oh, it wasn't a foul and it wasn't a flop, ball on the side, or it was a foul. It was not a foul.
Oh,
it was a flop.
Well, that's a
Take
great
the shot.
question to me because, all right, if a guy, like I was saying earlier, if a guy runs into me and I flop, but there was a foul, does that mean, well, yeah, he fouled you, but you still can't flop? Can you have a foul and a flop on the same play?
And can points get retroactively taken back if you call a block, but it's actually a charge? But I guess you would look back at it at that point. I don't know. It's
then we'll just, see what happens.
Trying to figure it out. Yeah, I guess we just wait and see. I guess
Seems
imperfect to
it
me.
Can work.
That seems very imperfect to me.
Mm-hmm. Maybe there are some nuances here that I'm just not explaining properly. Maybe.
Or maybe these guys should stop fouling. How about that?
How about that?
How about that? How about you just play the game how it's meant to be played with integrity? Okay.
Yeah. You know, that's funny you say that because I've often thought about that. If you look at most people have more important things to do, but if you look at the original rules of basketball, and Naismith
all the
draws
time,
them,
yeah,
and
sure.
you know that originally it's like that's a foul. Oh, I'm so ashamed. What? I fouled him.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I didn't.
I'm
need
sorry.
to.
I apologize.
It's okay.
sir.
It happened.
It's okay. Yes,
And
it's
now you
built
gotta go
into
in there
the game.
and take your fouls.
Yeah. No.
we need you to foul him.
Yes. Now it's like you have 6 of them. You better go use them.
Yeah. I didn't foul him. Yes. I'm sorry.
Yes. It was meant to be a gentleman's game. I
How'd
think
you do in the
people
new
forget
game
that.
of basketball today, Jimmy?
Peach basket?
I fouled my friend.
Oh.
What? It's terrible.
Terrible. It's yes. It was greatly looked down upon, but now it's something of pride. And like we said, we're gonna start putting on the F patch on the people's
Backwards F for
jerseys.
flopping.
Yes.
Is it a source of pride for Kings fans that they now will have on their roster for the 3rd time in franchise history a EuroLeague MVP?
Wow, 3rd time. What is it? Bielitsa, Vezenkov,
and
the
the 2013-14 MVP was
Sergio Rodriguez. That's right. Wow, another bad era of Kings basketball player. Wow, how about that?
Rodriguez and Nemanja were back-to-back EuroLeague MVPs in 14 and 15.
Okay,
yeah.
well, don't really have much to say about Sergio's time here in Sacramento, except it didn't work out.
Plays hard. I think he's still playing.
He is. Yeah, he played. He actually played Sasha in the EuroLeague final for Real Madrid. He's playing great in EuroLeague. But it's. I think it's, if anything, the history of EuroLeague MVPs in the NBA just says it's kind of a mixed bag. It's a mixed result in terms of it's not a clear indicator of success, but also it doesn't necessarily mean nothing. It's not like those guys won't succeed at all. I mean,
right.
Look at Nemanja Bjelica. Like, was Nemanja a superstar? Will he be remembered 20 years from now? Probably not, but he was a really good piece here in Sacramento and then on the Warriors championship team as well. Like, will they ever live up to their MVP name? No, but I think that it's just a sign of these guys have some skills that if on the right team and in the right system, they can be utilized. Absolutely. Like this is not like, oh, Europe guys are stiffs and can't ever figure out NBA game. There's usually a lot of role guys who come over.
There's only been one guy who's been a repeat EuroLeague MVP. If you follow basketball, you're smart enough not to do this, but I think for some more casual fans, there's a temptation to say EuroLeague MVP, huh? Well, Luka was the EuroLeague MVP.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll take a guy who's that good. And typically the EuroLeague MVPs are not that good. 2004, 2005, and then the following year as well, Anthony Parker was the EuroLeague MVP. He's from the United States, but he was the EuroLeague MVP. But that's not Tony Parker.
Yeah, Anthony Parker. Not Tone.
And he played. He was a pretty good player. But he just, by the way, was just promoted to general manager of the Orlando Magic.
Wow.
So that's Anthony Parker, who was, I think, a starting guard for the Raptors. Played, so he was a
fine,
9-year
career. Did you see who else got promoted today in Orlando? By the way,
Pete D'Alessandro, right?
Yeah,
in that same
same
deal.
Yeah, while we're just talking about bad eras of Kings basketball, the The boogeyman himself, Pete D'Alessandro, what a cockroach, man, continues to somehow stay alive in NBA circles despite just being the worst.
Not
frankly.
just stay alive. He's thriving
He's
because
thriving.
Anthony Parker is the GM and the Magic making Pete D'Alessandro executive VP of basketball ops.
That's a really big title for a guy who doesn't deserve it.
He owes us a steal of a trade.
He does. Yeah, he owes us at least one. I'll take a Franz Wagner for, I don't know. Sorry, Kessler Edwards. Sorry, you got to go.
You didn't love the D'Alessandro era here in Sacramento?
It was not great. I do have a picture with myself and Pete D'Alessandro, actually. One of the more cursed images on my phone. Me and Pete D'Alessandro. How about that?
That's very nice.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wish I didn't take that picture, but yeah, long time ago.
Was there
long
one
time
thing
ago.
in particular, or you just see him as kind of a symbol of that?
Just kind of a
era.
Scumbag kind of guy. Just,
Like obviously the Malone firing.
Malone firing wasn't great. How behind that he was, the handling of Isaiah Thomas's free agency, getting, oh man, what's that guy's name? Man, they got somebody terrible in a sign and trade for Isaiah Thomas when he left in free agency, signing Gravis Vasquez to a free agency deal when they had Isaiah Thomas, and just kind of
They ended up with Collison, but that's
ended up with Darren Collison. Yeah, just nothing really was great about the Pete D'Alessandro era here in Sacramento.
Ready for a quiz?
Yes.
Okay.
Always.
And I mean, it's easy for me because I'm sitting here looking at it,
All right.
but I'm going to ask you if these EuroLeague MVPs ever played in the NBA.
Okay.
Anthony Parker, he did.
Yes.
2007, Theo Papaloukas.
Yes.
You can say,
I'm going to say he did play.
He played for many teams, didn't make it to the NBA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounded like an NBA guy.
Yeah. Was, let's see, undrafted. 1999, he was eligible for the draft. He was undrafted.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's okay. He
Not
was
a good
EuroLeague
name.
MVP. Ramonas Siskauskas, 2008.
Siskauskas?
EuroLeague MVP. Yeah. Siskauskas.
Speaking
from
of Pete
Lithuania.
D'Alessandro era. No, he didn't play.
2000 NBA draft, he was undrafted. He
Yikes.
did not. You're correct.
Okay.
Did not play. So it's a EuroLeague MVP. 2009, Juan Carlos Navarro.
Yes, he did play. I remember
Yes,
that
sir.
name. I remember that name. I can't tell you who he played for, but I definitely remember that name.
Why don't you try Memphis Grizzlies?
Memphis Grizzlies.
That is correct. Well
was
done.
it a long career? I feel like I don't remember him in the NBA very long.
He was with the Grizzlies 2007, 2008.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He
I don't
played
know why
for
I
Barcelona,
remember that,
FC
yeah.
Barcelona before and after that.
Yes, that's
NBA
what it was.
All-Rookie second team in 2000.
Wow, how about that?
Yeah.
And then just never played again?
I'd have to.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very
Milos
interesting.
Teodosic.
Yes, Theodosic was one of my favorites. One of the greats. I think he didn't come over.
Clippers.
Yeah, didn't come over
Point
to
guard.
the NBA until he was like 36 years old. But
This is not nice, but I'm just being honest. I'd see him play and go, hey, the Geico caveman is playing.
yeah, that dude definitely smoked cigarettes at halftime. 1000% gave big, like, hey, I end this game with a pack of cigarettes.
Demetrius Diamantidis.
No, didn't play. Didn't play. No way.
You are correct.
Okay, I was like, there's no way.
Andre Kirilenko.
Yeah,
Maybe
that
the
name
best player
sounds
of the
familiar.
bunch.
That
Yeah.
name sounds pretty
Then we
familiar.
got Vasilis Spanoulis. Then we
I
got
don't think so.
Sergio Rodriguez,
Yeah,
we mentioned.
unfortunately, yeah.
Nemanja Bjelica, 2015.
Yes, sir.
Nando Di Colo.
Yes, sir. He
yes, with your Spurs.
played. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was pretty decent. I mean, a third point guard for them. Never really got much run, but
Sergio Lull.
no.
He was selected by the Nuggets, did not play.
Don't
in the
think he
NBA.
ever played. Oh, okay.
Luka Doncic,
I don't think so.
Jan Vesely,
Yes, Jan Vesely, very high pick in the
Wizards
in the NBA
and
draft.
Nuggets.
Yeah, he had a really cute girlfriend. I remember he kissed her, and that was like the big story about Jan Vesely.
The current MVP, Vezenkov, 2022 is Nikola Mirotic.
Mirotic,
Who-
yeah, I remember
yeah.
him. Yeah, he was really good for a couple years on the
and
Bulls.
he actually was the MVP of the EuroLeague, I think, after he was done in the NBA.
Kind of the original Jordan Poole.
Yeah. And
Got hit in the face.
2021, Vasily Misic.
Yes, and Misic is coming over this year as well. I think OKC just signed him
Correct.
to a 3-year
He hasn't
deal.
been in the NBA yet, but he is going to play.
That'll
Yeah.
be interesting.
Yeah.
Him and OKC.
Supposed to.
They obviously have so many point guards over there. I wonder if Misic will get some time because
Yeah.
he's kind of a little bit in the mold of Josh Giddey, not obviously as big as Josh Giddey. So I wonder if they have time with him, Shea, and Lou Dort as well.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, the point is there aren't a lot of EuroLeague MVPs who really have brilliant star careers in the NBA.
Right.
But Vezenkov, maybe he's going to be the exception.
He could be. I mean, he definitely could be. He's got all the tools, and it's not about being Luka Doncic. Like there's, we just went through the list. There is quite literally only one Luka Doncic.
Teodosic was close.
He was. If he would have came over when he wasn't 36, who knows what would have happened. But he's gonna be. It doesn't mean that he can't be a really good role player. There's a ton of guys on that list who are NBA names, and some of them might not have stuck around in the NBA for long, but a couple of them were able to really have a role, and I think that's kind of where Sasha's going to fall. Is I don't know if he'll ever be a starter. I don't know if he'll ever be a household name, but I think he's going to provide a role for this team and probably be in the league for, anywhere from 5 to 9 years, 10 years maybe, and then probably go over, much like Nemanja, just go back over to Europe when you're done.
There are a lot of good shooters on that list, and he could be. He could be the best
Could
of
be
all
the
of them.
best. Absolutely.
Yeah. Up next, the 49ers spend more money on these two positions than any other team. Can you name the positions? We have
It's
an
not
answer
quarterback.
coming up. That's right. Coming up next year on Chris and Company, Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The Kings season might be over,
But Sactown Sports coverage never stops.
It's probably one of the best starting points I could have had starting in the NBA, Sacramento.
Stay tuned all off-season to Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton and Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real live person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you roll a Charmin ultra soft on the party, let's supposed to roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistibly soft and hella nice. Our grip is always soft. It's our party vibe. It's special things for what Shakespeare finds. So everybody wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Dawn or dusk, I'm on the hunt. Skeeter here, Sacramento Yellow Mosquito and Vector Control District, and I'm wearing Skeeter Vision, night vision goggles that light up skeeters at dawn or dusk like the 4th of July. Mosquito, 12 o'clock. Got 'em. So fight the bite by wearing long sleeves and pants at dawn or dusk when they're most active. Apply insect repellent and drain stagnant water. It's a breeding ground.
Dawn or dusk, the Sacramento Yellow Mosquito and Vector Control District reminds you to fight the bite. For more information or to report problems, go to fightthebite.net.
Hey kids, it's Carmichael Dave from my good friends at Fire Wings, the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. A great place to enjoy all the ball games from all around the country with 21 delicious flavors to choose from. Bone in, bone out. For more convenience, order online. Go to firewings.com, find a location near you, grab that order online and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you. Fire Wings, hey, just wing it.
The Gold Rush Classic takes place July 13th and 14th in Rancho Murrieta. Come join the fun and play golf with a celebrity, or just check out the concert. The Gold Rush Classic, where the stars and guitars shine. For more info, go to goldrushclassic.org.
Live and local, it's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Thank you for being with us. Thank you, I think, to Russell on the YouTube chat who came up with the name of the player you were struggling to remember, Chris. And it's easy to understand why you struggle to remember. It's a defense mechanism. It's called blocking.
It is. Yeah.
You don't like to think of things that bring back unpleasant memories.
Yes, I definitely have that a lot. I just try and everything that was bad, just completely black out. Only try and remember.
So you're trying to think of the player the Kings got when they let Isaiah Thomas go?
Yes, when they let go of Isaiah Thomas, they worked a sign and trade with Phoenix. If you remember that Phoenix Suns era when they were trying to run out 3-point guards, with Bledsoe, Dragic, and Isaiah Thomas. So Isaiah signed over with Phoenix. I believe he was a restricted free agent, so the Kings could have matched the offer, but instead Pete decided to work out a sign and trade and brought over Alex Orakai. Who, exactly. For those of you who said, what now? Exactly. Alex Orakai.
I always called him Oriaki.
Oriaki, too. Him, too. Teriyaki, Oriaki, whatever you want to call him. He was useless and really, I believe, only lasted that next summer league with Sacramento.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Not that guy, pal. He was not that guy at all. Really nothing of note except for the fact that he was traded for Isaiah Thomas. That's about the most important thing that happened in his career.
And by the way, according to Basketball Reference, Sasha Vezenkov.
Yeah.
The
Is there any
accent
nicknames for Sasha yet on Basketball Reference?
Alex. Yeah. Well, no, there's no nicknames. I guess Sasha's kind of a nickname.
But interesting. It's actually Alex Vezenkov.
Yeah. Okay. Alexander with a K. Alexander.
Like it.
Yeah. And so the emphasis is on the last two syllables. Vezenkov.
Vezenkov. Okay.
Yeah.
Not Vezenkov.
That's according to Basketball
Vezenkov.
Reference. Well, he comes over and says, no, that's not my name. Then obviously we'll make our adjustments accordingly.
I think Chris was telling this story the other day, but there's a hilarious pronunciation story with Jason Ross and Nemanja Bjelica, where Jason was on air and it was at Media Day. And he's like, okay, just so we all know, like Nemanja Bjelica. And he's like, Nemanja. And he's like, okay, gotcha. Nemanja. No. Nemanja. And then Jason said, gotcha. Nemanja. And he's like, close enough.
Yeah, he kept on saying like, no, you're good. And then Jason is the one saying like, no, we have to get this right. What is your name?
He's just like, you're close enough, dude. It's fine. So yeah, that's what that makes me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. People weren't sure.
Vezenkov.
It took people a long time to figure out, Hito.
Oh, right. Turkey glue.
Or yeah.
Probably Peja as well.
A little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Stojakovic,
Yeah,
Stojakovic.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Hito was a nightmare.
Pre-drag.
Yeah.
Is it
P-drag. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it is Pedraj. Like it's kind of spelled Pedraj, right? Like Pedaj, right? Is
RAG.
Yeah, I
Oh
think
my
it's
gosh.
I think it's Predrag, but I'm sure that's not
Good
how you say
night.
it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess his son is kind of spelled Andrej. I always call him Andrej.
Mhm. Yeah.
How about that?
So
Turkey glue.
We have reason to believe that Mr. Vezenkov could be
There we go.
in the area. May have flown in
Yeah.
last night and maybe on his way to Sacramento if he's not here already.
Could be. Maybe
Yeah.
he'll be unveiling the new jerseys at center court tonight. Who knows? Probably not. Definitely not.
Did you see Malik Monk wearing his own jersey? I've never seen a player do that. I don't have a problem with it. It's fine. I saw it. I was like, wait a minute. He's wearing his own jersey.
There's like 3 things wrong with Malik's outfit that he was wearing the other day at Summer League. Yes, wearing his own jersey, crazy.
I've never seen a player do that.
Crazy.
Except when they're playing,
Right.
of course.
And I assume he didn't show up in that. I would assume that he showed up to the arena. They're like, hey, here's the new jersey. You want it? And he was like, yeah, I'll put it on. But also, so that's red flag number 1. Red flag number 2, Monday. Don't know if you went outside, Whitey. Still like hot as hell.
Yes.
Like 100 degrees.
I noticed that.
Malik Monk shows up in a long sleeve shirt and pants. Now, granted, the pants are kind of, poofy and like elevator pants.
Poofy
but
pants, yeah.
my dude, like it's 100 degrees out there. Like, I get it, bro. Like you got to show up looking flossy, got to look nice, but you don't have any shorts or tank top. Like Davion Mitchell looked like he literally just got off the practice court. And then Malik Monk walks up looking like he's
That's a good point
just
about the New
hanging out in
Jersey. I get that, but
Montana.
still, it's like I have never seen that before.
I've never seen that. That's a different level of confidence because you have to,
Guys will wear
just says a lot.
jerseys as an homage to their hometown,
Right.
or a friend or
throwback. Connection to the team.
Yeah.
Yourself.
Yeah.
That's something.
It worked. It's just like.
It also works for Malik. If you were to say, did you see that Kings player wearing his jersey the other day? Top 3 guesses are going to be Malik.
Alex Oriaki couldn't pull that off.
No way. Not in his wildest dreams could Alex Oriaki pull that off. Whatever team he's wearing these days, there's no way he can pull that off. Only Malik I would allow to let that happen.
We get ready for Summer League, resuming the California Classic, resuming today. And it's July, so NFL camps are going to be opening within weeks.
Really? Are they really?
Yeah.
I'm way too basketball focused right now.
Including the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
They're slowly becoming my new favorite
team. Yeah, I could feel it. I could feel them becoming your favorite team.
I don't know how that
I don't know why that. As long as it's not the Packers. I could live with the Lions, but not the Packers, so it's fine.
Interesting look today in The Athletic at the 49ers cap spending breakdown. We talked so much about the NBA, the Kings, and the cap. This is really interesting position by position. Where do the 49ers rank? Quarterbacks, they rank 14th. $16.3 million they're spending on their quarterbacks. That's 14th in the league. And I think the great Kyle Madsen today pointed out there are 12 quarterbacks in the NFL with larger cap hits than the entire 49er quarterback room.
I'm honestly surprised that they're 14th. I would have thought that they're even lower than that. I guess Trey Lance is probably doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sense. But they're
yes, I was surprised by that too.
Probably the only playoff team that's they're probably the lowest of any contending team. Yeah, I would imagine.
Get what you pay for. Yeah. You do have Sam Darnold.
Absolutely, you're not wrong.
Running back 5th in the NFL. Wide receivers 24th.
Wow, that's
in
great
receiver
value.
spending. Tight ends number 1 because George Kittle is getting so much money. Offensive line they're 17th. Defensive line number 1. 49ers spend more money and it's not even close on their defensive line than any other team. Linebackers they rank 19th in the NFL. Special teams are 21st. Defensive backs, they are 31st in the NFL.
Wow.
In spending on defensive backs for 2023.
Oh, wow.
$23.1 million.
I didn't realize that. I mean, I feel like that's good value. The 49ers pass defense is definitely their defensive weak spot, if you would even call it that. Even then, they're fairly solid, I would say. So if they're spending 31st value, I think that's tremendous job if they're gonna continue to play to the standard that they played to last year.
Quarterback 14th though, like you say, and that's for 3 guys, all of whom can play at least a little bit,
right?
And they're still 14th in the league.
To go back to the Domas conversation, that's great value, and that allows you to pay number 1 tight end money, where it's like, okay, maybe most teams wouldn't allocate resources or especially that much funds to a position that's not super important, but that's kind of the blessing of not paying the quarterback so much money is you can fill out and have the best tight end core. You can bag out your entire defensive line. Maybe the most important thing that you can do, besides paying a quarterback is paying guys who are going to rush the other quarterback. So at least the Niners are doing a good job of spreading out the wealth and spending on all the right value positions.
Yeah, I know it's easy to look at the 49ers and go, oh, quarterback's a big concern. But if Brock Purdy's healthy, they're in great shape.
Yeah, they're fine.
I think the cornerbacks is an area where they probably are maybe thinnest and maybe the most level of concern is at that position.
Well, and the value speaks to that as well.
Yeah.
For spending.
And by the way, I know you saw this, but somebody on the YouTube chat said, I'm a Vikings fan, and even I think the Lions are going to win the division.
Be your own kind sometimes.
You saw that.
I did see it. I did see it. I believe it was 12 Mulatu as well.
Yes, it was. Text of the day nominee?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely
not.
not.
What do you think, Verlot? All it takes is a 2 out of 3.
Yeah, I think it should be up there.
Okay. All right, for sure.
I haven't voted yet.
Coming up with this, how negative Chris is about his team. I'm shocked that he wasn't the one that sent that.
Bro, that's what I'm saying though. Is like I'm not even high on the Vikings. It's just I am not there.
What are you
on
high
the Lions. We'll find out.
Coming up, the Kings have been busy, but are they better? That's next year. Whitey and Watkins on Chris and Company, Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf.
It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa
on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Attention contractors and DIY enthusiasts. Don't miss the ultimate DeWalt sale event at Fasteners Tool Outlet in Sacramento this Saturday, July 8th. Unbeatable prices on DeWalt power tools and one-day only deals with free batteries and tools. Grab a 4-piece brushless combo kit for $299 and save up to 50% on select hand tools and accessories. Again, that's July 8th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 6701 Power Inn Road. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net.
Get your superhero squad together and join forces as we take on the Minnesota Twins on Saturday, July 15th during Marvel Superhero Day. All fans can enjoy this special Marvel-themed day at the ballpark, along with fun photo opportunities, character appearances, and in-game features as part of the fun. Get there early to snag a Captain Marvel bobblehead presented by Extra Mile. Tickets start at just $10 and are available at athletics.com/tickets. That's athletics.com/tickets.
Y'all ready to do it again, Sacramento? Country in the Park 2 is coming to Heart Health Park at Cal Expo Saturday, September 9th with Cole Swindell, Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, and more. Plus, a mechanical bull, line dancing saloon, and all the food. Tickets start at $40 or grab your Coors Light Y'all Access passes for $125. For more info, visit SactownSports.com. Country in the Park 2, brought to you by Hoblet Dodge, E2 Family Winery, and Hyatt Vacation Club.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. Over the long holiday weekend, the Kings made a couple moves. First was the Kings and Domantas Sabonis agreeing to a 5-year, $217 million extension. Then also came the Kings and EuroLeague MVP Sasha Vezenko coming to an agreement for a 3-year, $20 million deal. Day 2 of the California Classic is today at the Golden One Center. The Classic will start with the Warriors against the Hornets at 3. It'll be followed by the Spurs and the Lakers, and end the night with the Kings taking on Jaime Jaquez Jr. and the Miami Heat at 7. You can listen to tonight's Kings Heat game starting with game night at 6 and tip-off scheduled for 7 right here on Sactown Sports. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Chris and Company with Whitey and Watkins.
Today we're Chris and Company starting Monday. New show, Whitey and Watkins. How about that?
How about that? You got your way. You got Whitey first, and then it's me. Just like you were always complaining about, and so
that's not true. People will think that they're like, I knew that.
I know.
I knew that about
like, God, that Gleason guy.
You can't keep getting away with it.
Keep getting away with this. Come on. The ego on this guy's crazy.
I don't even know that I was actually ever asked about that.
I don't think
fine.
so. Yeah, I don't think we were ever
that's
asked.
Fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I think it was just actually something that was just like, Chris and Company, and we're doing this a lot, so let's throw my name in there, Whitey and Watkins. Like it was just an alliteration thing that worked out.
Right.
Came and ran with it. Now it's here to stay.
Yeah. So 3 more days of Chris and Company.
I know. I'm going to enjoy it well.
Yeah. The series finale coming up Friday, and then new show on Monday.
Yeah. Brand new, same show. Can't wait. Can't wait.
So thanks for being with us now.
Yes.
We appreciate it if you stick around.
Please stick around. Tell your friends.
Kings have been busy, but are they better? Better. You bet. Are they?
Yeah, I would say so. It's tough to say. I mean, you look on paper up top, they did not get better. They did not add to, oh man, they got a new third best player or fourth best option. I think they got better with depth. I think the Sasha thing I think Sasha's going to make this team better. It's the same guys they brought back last year. They ran it back. They just added some more pieces to make the team a little more versatile. And, if they're the same team they were last year, I think they're not going to necessarily be head and shoulder. Like, they're not going to be a 1 or 2 seed, but I think that they're going to be good enough to compete. And I think you still have to figure out what your weak spots are that you need to improve on. And might not have been the sexiest offseason, but I think that they're definitely I'm more confident, and maybe it's because they had the success, but I'm confident that they're going to be a good team next year.
I'm going to ask you a question, not to put you on the spot, and if you want to sidestep it, you're smart enough to know how to sidestep it. How confident are you that you will have at least third-team all-league seasons again from Sabonis and Fox? If I'm being totally honest, they had great years. That they played by far their best basketball. Can they do it again? Yes. They can. In my opinion, it's not something I can necessarily count on.
No. I would almost guarantee Sabonis probably won't make third-team All-NBA ever again, especially with them taking out positions. I think he benefited greatly from the fact that they had to throw in a third center, and he was clearly, besides Bam Adebayo being the kind of only other option, he was clearly the third best center behind Jokic and Embiid, who were 1 and 2 in the MVP talk. So I don't think Sabonis will. Fox has potential to do it. It's just he's going to have to continue to be great. Like, he's going to have to continue to keep his name in the spotlight. He kind of got the benefit last year of having guys like Ja Morant, Steph. Did Steph end up? I don't think Steph ended up making the All-NBA, did he?
I think he was.
He did?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure if he played enough games.
Yeah.
But Damian Lillard, there's plenty of guys who last year could have vied for that All-NBA position and weren't because of injury or just missed time in general. It's going to be really tough. There's just so many guards that are in the Western Conference that De'Aaron's going to have to fight with. I mean, he's now got Bradley Beal has entered the chat. He's going to have Devin Booker. He's going to have Steph Curry. He's going to have, John Morant's still going to miss 25 games, so he's not going to be eligible again. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's a name. Damian Lillard, depending on where he ends up, could be a name. There's tons of other competition for Fox. He can definitely do it. He's going to be in the conversation. Would I bank on it? No, but I think he can still play up to that level. Sabonis, I think, is definitely a question because I think the deeper and deeper they get, maybe the less and less reliant on Sabonis' scoring they're going to be. And I think maybe, he'll be just as important as a passer, but we might see Sasha take some of his points. You might see Keegan take some of his points. And so I think his importance will still stay, but his numbers might decline.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140 on the YouTube chat. Just curious what you think here. How are the Kings going to be better? And I'm not saying they can't be. How can they be better? Me personally, I was hoping that they would make a move or two that would clearly upgrade them defensively. And maybe that's not even realistic.
They have not.
I don't think we've done that. No. I mean, Duarte is a decent defender. John Williams on the YouTube chat says, don't overlook Keegan is going to step up big. And I think that's another thing that they're counting on this year.
They are counting on that. And that's the important thing is they if that doesn't happen, then the Kings could find themselves in some trouble or in some stagnation because they're really banking on the improvement of Keegan Murray. I mean, over on Monday, Luke Laux, who's coaching the Summer League team, straight up said that one of their scouts after a practice or after a scrimmage said that he compared Keegan's growth to that of Kawhi Leonard. And
I don't believe you. Do you have any evidence of that?
Yeah, I think we have this.
Keegan just exploded in one of these scrimmages, scored like 17 or 19 straight points. Like everyone in the gym, it was almost like silent. Like everyone could just feel how good he is. And after the scrimmage, obviously that's something we expect from him at this level in Summer League, and it's something we're pushing him to do. After the scrimmage, one of the scouts pulled me aside and was like, the closest thing I've seen to what I just saw was Kawhi in year 2. And he's like, it wasn't that Keegan is Kawhi or Kawhi is Keegan, but the step from rookie season, like, oh, you got a pretty good rookie, to like, holy smokes, this guy could be exceptional. And I think we're all seeing it as an organization. We're feeling it, but we're also pushing him to believe in that. And I think he's feeling it, and he's also embracing it. Like, okay, if you guys want me to take this next step, I'm going to do it.
I don't like that.
Why not? What don't you like about Keegan Murray being compared to Kawhi Leonard?
I don't like saying it because then all of a sudden,
I feel that.
You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Yes, because now it's a thing.
I understand it, but and that's great if someone
It's a lot
said
of
it.
pressure.
But yeah, I mean, teams do that sometimes, and Keegan's on a very high trajectory as far as his career path.
Sure.
So it's not like, oh, there's no way. I don't know. Sometimes I just cringe anytime. This guy's, I remember, maybe it's because of what happened in the Bay Area. I've been in the Bay Area for a few years, and like Jonathan Kuminga reminds you a lot of Giannis. Oh, really? And even
definitely.
Steve Kerr said, James Wiseman, he is a young David Robinson.
Oh boy.
Like,
don't say that. Right. Just
yeah.
don't say that.
So
especially after recently watching his scrimmage.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Especially watching him scrimmage against other summer league guys.
Yeah.
He looked awesome.
Maybe that has nothing to do with this.
Sure.
And it's great that Keegan he was so dominant in the first game. Just anytime now when I hear any coach say, this guy reminds me of that that superstar. Just, really?
Yeah.
You really need to go there. So I apologize.
Way to kill the hype. No, good job. It's fine. It's totally fine. It's just I have
it's not fair to Keegan Murray, is it?
Keegan into Kawhi on my.
Is that fair to Keegan Murray right now?
Absolutely not. No, it's not fair at all. It's not. But I think if anything, it's more speaking to the fact that those guys and how I took it, and this is definitely just how I took it. I'm reading between the lines. I took it more in terms of comfortability and like just opening up their game. I think Keegan is a very reserved guy, both in personality and in his game, was only catch and shoot, didn't put the ball on the ground much. I think it's more in the sense of you can really feel him coming into his own, and you're just going to see him do things next year that maybe he wouldn't have even thought about doing the year before. And so that's more what I'm taking it as, not necessarily in the sense of Keegan Murray about to be a 2-time finals MVP.
I know, and Coach Laux knows
down the way.
And he knows more about Keegan than I'll ever know. But to my point here, Annie Correa on the YouTube chat, well, Buddy Hield's going to be Steph Curry. Yes, we heard that a little bit.
We heard Nick Stauskas was big like Clay, but shot like Steph. That's what
either
that
I
is
didn't
a direct
hear that
quote.
or I have totally blocked
that.
That
is
out
a
of
direct quote, I believe, from Vivek Ranadive. That Nick Stauskas, the reason why they liked him is he was big like Clay and shot like Steph.
Mm-hmm.
So this isn't the first time, and those two Warrior examples are perfect examples of how sometimes these things can definitely get away. These comparisons can get away from us.
Yeah,
I like it in the sense of both of Keegan and Kawhi are very, I won't use the term strange. I'll say unique individuals.
Well,
and both of them have, I think, done a good job of, or we're going to see with Keegan, opening up and just being more comfortable in their own skin. And I think by virtue will also be more comfortable on the floor.
I hope I'm wrong, and this has obviously
too.
nothing to do with Keegan, but Kawhi may be done as we know him.
Wow.
I mean, just
wait, one too many
his
leg
body
injuries.
is just at this point going, you know what? Sorry.
And he's already load managing more than anybody else in the league.
Right.
And if you're doing that and still not being healthy, I mean, at that point, it's what are the Clippers supposed to do to make you available in the postseason?
As far as the Kings improving defensively, Bo on the YouTube chat says, damn, we missed out on Thibault.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah, I mean, Thibault's one of those people who he's a really good tool to have, but you don't really if you don't use it a lot, then it's pretty useless. Like
I'd rather have him than KZ Okpala, but that said, I'm better off if I don't have either one of them.
Exactly. I think you're better off finding somebody who can play offense and defense. And while Matisse Thybulle is what a noble idea, playing both sides of the floor. Matisse Thybulle is one of the best defenders in the NBA, but he's also one of, if not the worst offensive player in the league.
John Williams says Sabonis's points will decrease, but his assists will increase. Rebounds about the same.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe. I could see the points. I could see the points and the assist thing, but rebounds, I mean, that's kind of an arbitrary stat. I would actually hope Sabonis's rebound numbers go down and others go up.
Yes,
I think that would be a lot better.
I think they
for the
need
team.
Sabonis to be a better shooter this year because I think teams are going to play him differently.
Right, especially after that playoff series, and it became clear if you sag off him, throws his mental off a little. So it's just if he can knock down that mid-range jump shot, it doesn't even have to be 3-point range, but just make people aware that you can knock that thing down.
So how do the Kings improve this year, and how good do they need Vezenkov to be? That's next year with Chris Watkins and company. I'm the company.
I'm going to enjoy
today
it while I can.
on Sactown Sports.
The King season might be over,
But Sactown Sports coverage never stops.
Returning is honestly my number one priority. Be a part of something special.
Stay tuned all off season to Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Sitting at your desk, watch Chris and Company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
I guess I was still in shock Friday when this news really broke, but I'm really not happy that two of my favorites are no longer at ESPN. The truly great Jeff Van Gundy.
Your favorite Van Gundy.
I like Jalen Rose.
Oh, I love Jalen Rose.
Yeah.
I've really liked Jalen for a long time. He was kind of like, in a way, he was kind of the first. No, I shouldn't say the first, but one of the few athletes turned whatever you analysts that ESPN did. Like, and he wasn't, typically it was just, oh, hey, here's Kendrick Perkins. He played basketball. He can tell you some basketball things. Jalen was like in the grind of things, like would do cold pizza and would do first take and, really was trying to do the job, not the gig, if you will. Like, he wasn't in it because I'm a former athlete and they'll give me money to just talk basketball. He really cared about like the job of being an analyst.
Remember that show with Greeny, which was it called Get Up then?
Yes.
Anyway, yeah. And it was Greeny and Michelle Beadle and Jalen Rose. And it's like,
yes,
that was the three of them. And
man, I forgot about Beadle too.
But they were really, it looked to me like, wow, they're ramping him up to be one of the bigger stars. And then last year, like on the finals, they'd have Mike Greenberg, nice guy. I don't really care what he thinks about basketball that much, but he's just consummate pro. Then you have Stephen A. And Stephen A. is again,
Stephen A.
You do interviews with Stephen A. He's a really kind guy and he knows what he's talking about. But
have you
I
done
don't
an
really
interview
care.
with Stephen A?
A couple,
really?
And he would have no idea who I am, but he was really nice and everything.
Interesting.
But I just don't really care what he has to say about the NBA that much. Michael Wilbon, same thing.
Love Wilbon.
Nice guy. Okay. Jalen's like, what does Jalen think?
Yes.
Does he play?
Right.
And then he's the one that they say, yeah, see you later.
Yeah. And it doesn't make sense. I mean, and you're right. Like, it's two of the, you could say the same thing with Van Gundy. It's like, okay, they have Mark Jackson. Like, okay, like that's fine. But like, I'm like, Van Gundy is the one that I care what he has to say. I mean, a lot of time Van Gundy is talking wild, but when he's analyzing the game, he's really, really good.
I thought so.
And
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of, if anything, it's more of a representation of what ESPN actually cares about. And I think we said two of the bigger names that they seem to be leaning into of Stephen A. Smith and Kendrick Perkins. I think that's what ESPN cares about is, do people talk about you? Can we clip you, Kendrick Perkins, saying the Kings are going to be better than the Warriors next year for sure? That's what they look for. They don't care about Jalen Rose actually giving good analysis on if Miami's good for Damian Lillard. They care about somebody saying Damian Lillard should retire if they trade him to Utah. That's the guy that they're looking for. They don't actually care about actual analysis.
Stephen A. said, was it today? He said there are going to be more of these, and he said I could be next. I doubt that. That's what he said.
That's hilarious.
That's what he said.
Even Stephen A. doesn't believe that. He knows that he probably makes too much money to fail at this point. Like, it would be Stephen A. has kind of made himself irreplaceable with how everywhere he is. Like,
I was about to say that. He's like on 20 different shows.
And good for, I'm not a huge fan of his work, but good for him.
I respect the hustle.
There was a time 20 years ago, he was kind of
nothing.
A radio show that failed in New York, I think. And
no, he was nothing much to say about him. And then
for him,
completely revitalized his career. And like Chris said, like he is everywhere.
I mean, to tell you how big he is, ESPN is famously known for like, do not talk politics at all, just stick to sports. And he now has a podcast with them where he talks nothing but sports and a lot of politics.
I saw him show up on Fox News the other day too, and I was like, wow, I can't believe that they're letting him venture out like that.
I just I'm gonna miss Van Gundy will probably get a job somewhere.
I would where though? I mean, like
TNT, Stan and Jeff. So they'll be side by side, and the world can see that I've always been right. Van Gundy is the vastly superior.
Yes.
Jeff Van Gundy,
much, much better. What if they have to fire Stan to bring in Jeff? That would be something. He wouldn't be opposed to it.
I'm not going to lose a lot of sleep over
it.
I don't want to see people fired.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to lose a lot of sleep over it after the whole Kinko's episode.
Yeah.
You remember all that, right?
Yes. I've heard legends of the Kinko's story. Yeah. That's all-time scumbaggery from Stan Van.
How good do the Kings need Vezenkov to be? We're talking about how they're going to be better this year. And they didn't bring in a lot of new blood. They do have Vezenkov and they have Chris Duarte. So how good do they need Vezenkov to be a better team?
They need Sasha to be good enough to make Harrison Barnes replaceable. How about that? Like, I think it's just he needs to play well enough to where, like I said earlier, like he can finish games and not have it be crazy. Maybe if one day you can envision him going into the starting lineup against certain teams, I think that's ideal for Sasha. Really, it's just him being a knockdown 3-point shooter over 37%, which I think should be easy for him.
Is he a better shooter than all-time Kings grade Marco Bellinelli?
He's a better King shooter for sure. That's for dang sure. I think who's terrible? I think Davion Mitchell is a better 3-point shooter than Kings Marco Bellinelli. I think KZ Okpala might be a better Kings 3-point shooter.
He did struggle with the jumper a little bit here, didn't he?
Yeah, more than a little bit. It was. That was again bad Kings years. That's when I was really like, oh, this place is cursed. Like, this is not like a cute, like, oh yeah, they just keep messing up the picks. It's like, no, everything they touch turns to poop.
I think the Kings need Vezenkov to be a guy who by January, at least by January, we're starting to talk about, maybe he should be starting.
Mm-hmm.
I think they need him to be that impactful. Now, if they defend well, they make up for that in other areas. Maybe it doesn't matter as much.
Sure.
If they defend better, I just don't know where that's going to come from, but it's certainly something that they'll continue to work on.
Right.
They'd be much better if they can figure out how to defend better as a unit.
Yeah.
And I know the company line is, or Coach Brown says, well, we showed it in the playoffs. They can do it.
Sure.
But if they do that, they're going to be a lot better.
To me, that's where they improve drastically, is not being terrible at defense, just being okay. And I keep using the Nuggets as the example, but the Nuggets for years were one of, if not the best offense in the NBA, but routinely found themselves in the bottom third in defense. This year, they just managed to get up to average. And then in the playoffs, much like the Kings do, like most teams do, you play better defense in the playoffs. The intensity steps up, the attention to detail, the focus just steps up, and you play better defense. But it just takes you being an okay defense and a great offense. And the Kings have the great offense part taken care of, but they are very, very bad defensively. And I don't think that they've made the proper adjustments to really fix becoming average. Like, I think they're still going to struggle defensively, even with an improved effort.
Gross overstatement, but there's a lot of truth to it. They've got to keep the ball out of the paint, because once it's in there, you can ask Sabonis to be a rim protector. He's not. You're asking him to do something he can't do.
Yeah. You just can't. No, that starts with perimeter defense. Yeah, exactly. That starts with perimeter defense. Mike Brown talked about it all the time. not letting middle penetration happen. He hates when people drive straight down the middle and just have wide open lanes to the left and to the right and can do whatever they want. And too many times that starts with point of attack defense, and the Kings are turnstiles, frankly. Like, Kevin Huerter is not a good perimeter defender. Keegan Murray at points last year was not a good perimeter defender. Those guys have to be better.
He was the next Kawhi Leonard. I thought that's what you were saying.
Next season, okay. Whitey. That starts next season.
Pretty good defender.
He's okay if you're into that kind of stuff. But honestly, if that's where Keegan takes his leap is on defense and not necessarily on the offensive end of the floor, that's really beneficial. I mean, he's a 6'9", 6'8" guy who he's got a solid frame to him. Like, I think he could be a good defender if he uses his body, and I don't think he has the lateral foot speed to keep up with guys, but if he can use his strength to be his defensive strong suit, I think Keegan could do it. It's going to take more than just one off season, but if we can see steps in the right direction, I think that could be a path for the Kings defense to get better.
I know a lot of people, we've talked about this, a lot of people wanted the Kings to upgrade in the middle because people want that rim protection.
Yes.
And again, an overstatement, but to me, the rim protection starts by keeping the ball out of the lane in the first place. Duarte and Colby Jones, I think, are capable of helping in that area.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to be like night and day their first year here, especially Colby Jones as a rookie, but I think there's some upside there, and they have to be better defensively.
Yes, absolutely.
They're not going to be better offensively, right? Don't you think it's fair to say? I mean,
it would be pretty hard. It would be pretty hard.
They were great offensively.
Yeah, they were terrific. It would be almost impossible actually to be better, especially in terms of efficiency. Like, that was the most efficient in terms of offensive rating, points per 100 possession in NBA history. You're not. I will not say you will not, but you more than likely will
near
not.
That's a win.
That's an absolute positive, and I think you're right. Like, guys like Colby Jones and Duarte, they'll be better defenders than Terrence Davis. But if you're getting better on the edges for defense, how much does that really help in terms of playing for 48 minutes? Like, can you get guys that play as impactful minutes as Malik Monk and your other bench guys? Can they step up the defensive intensity? I don't know. I don't think the Kings have gotten much better in that sense.
Maybe this is overly optimistic, but I still think Kessler Edwards can help in that department too.
Yeah, I don't know where the minutes are for him at this point. Like, I think, like, is he getting minutes over Colby Jones? Is he getting minutes over Chris Duarte? Because right now, how I see it is it goes Keegan at the 3, Duarte as his backup, and then Kessler Edwards. And then even if you're playing Kessler at the 2, you have Huerter and Malik Monk, and then maybe Colby Jones as well.
Whoever's guarding people and making their threes is going to get the minutes.
I think it could be that simple. And if Kessler's the one making threes, he's shown the defensive upside. Like, he could definitely get minutes if he can knock down a shot at a high clip, and that could definitely be a way that the Kings. It's also just lineups. They can have more defensive minded lineups, but that also speaks to the positional versatility that they're trying to add.
Are we comfortable now saying they're pretty much done with the roster? They're still, I think they still have a little cash left.
I think in terms of rotational guys, I would, because they have like a $5 million exception that they can throw at somebody. They could maybe bring in a backup center at that, but I just feel like with bringing back Alex Len, to me, it feels like they're going to use Trey Lyles as the primary backup 5, and then
did you and Chris throw a party when you found out Trey Lyles was coming back?
I did.
Oh yeah,
I did. Yeah, Trey Bay stood up that day for sure. Yeah, Trey Bay Nation was strong, looking stronger. I'm glad it's here to stay. Glad it's here to stay.
We'll get back to the NBA, but up next, forget quarterback for a second. This is the position the 49ers are most worried about. It's next year. It's Whitey and Watkins, Chris and Company, Sactown Sports.
Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? maybe an outdated news article, or sensitive personal information about your family. Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Hey kids, it's Carmichael Dave from my good friends at Fire Wings, the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. A great place to enjoy all the ball games from all around the country with 21 delicious flavors to choose from. Bone in, bone out. For more convenience, order online. Go to firewings.com, find a location near you, grab that order online, and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you. Fire Wings, hey, just wing it.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Attention contractors and DIY enthusiasts. Don't miss the ultimate DeWalt sale event at Fasteners Tool Outlet in Sacramento this Saturday, July 8th. Unbeatable prices on DeWalt power tools and one-day-only deals with free batteries and tools. Grab a 4-piece brushless combo kit for $299 and save up to 50% on select hand tools and accessories. Again, that's July 8th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 6701 Power Inn Road. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. Over the long holiday weekend, the Kings made a couple of moves. First was the Kings and Domantas Sabonis agreeing to a 5-year, $217 million extension. Next, the Kings came to an agreement with the EuroLeague MVP, Sasha Vezenkov, for 3 years and $20 million. Day 2 of the California Classic is today at the Golden One Center. The Classic will start with the Warriors against the Hornets at 3. They'll be followed by the Spurs and the Lakers, and end with the Kings taking on Jaime Jaquez Jr. and the Miami Heat at 7. You can listen to the game right here with the game night at 6 o'clock and tip-off scheduled for 7 on Sactown Sports. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Chris and company with Whitey and Watkins.
I know if you wanted to, Chris Watkins, you could be an NBA GM. You just would rather run Chris & Co. here. So that's why you're not an NBA GM. Of the moves that have been made so far, the free agent moves, are there any that stand out as maybe the, things you wouldn't have done, the worst moves that have been made so far?
I pointed at it earlier, but I cannot understand Dylan Brooks. 4 years, $80 million. I need anybody. I will take anything, any viable reason why that happened, because maybe I just had my values completely mixed up for some reason, but we were talking about bringing in Dylan Brooks possibly to the Kings if he's a veteran minimum. And even then it's like I don't know. I don't even know if that makes sense. $20 million a year for the next 4 years.
Yep.
That's one of those situations where who are you bidding against? Who are the other teams out there throwing Dylan Brooks
hard to imagine
near $20 million?
You know why he got it. You know better than I
don't.
Well, it's not a good reason, but he's a terrific defensive player. So that's why they said,
I thought it was just because Houston had money. And they were like, we have to spend this. It's burning a hole in our pockets. Just all of this money. We have to get rid of it. I don't understand. I see no fit. Like, it's not even like, oh yeah, we have an opening at guard positions. They have tons of guards that they could give. I mean, they shipped off KJ Martin, who I really like.
Yeah.
He was maybe my favorite of all of the Houston guards. And they bring in Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet. I actually really like Fred VanVleet, but I have no idea what Houston is doing. It makes no sense.
Another one that surprised me, and this is for a really good player, but $160 million in 5 years for Jeremy Grant from the Blazers was really?
That's terrible. That's another one. Who are you bidding against? You want to say the Sabonis thing was who else is throwing him that offer? Who else is throwing Jeremy Grant $30+ million a year? Nobody. And not even with the guarantee of Dame either. That's the craziest thing is they're stuck with that. They are stuck with that contract. There is no moving on from that. Nobody, even in an expiring year, is going to take Jeremy Grant at $30+ million per year. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. I don't know how that happened. I don't know if that was that supposed to convince Dame to stay? Is that supposed to make him feel better about the prospect of staying in Portland?
Yeah, and I know the GM, is it Joe Cronin, said,
yes. Yeah.
Well, you know all the GMs because you know all the GM meetings.
Yeah, all the meetings.
Said, we want Dame to stay, but did they really? I mean, and I understand. I'm not saying he's a liar, but I don't know what they were hoping for, what they wanted to do.
I have no idea. I like, especially with the team that they have, lean into rebuild, keep as much money as possible. Don't tie yourself. Now they're tied up to Jeremy Grant and Yusuf Nurkic. And whatever they get
they're both
back,
on their way to, Nurkic and
could be.
Dame will be going to Miami.
He could be. Nurkic makes a good amount of money.
Unless he goes to Utah.
Unless he goes to Utah, right? I mean, I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Or as I mistakenly said earlier,
Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on that now.
Minnesota. I don't understand that Jeremy Grant thing at all. I don't know. It just continues Portland absolutely capping themselves out and leaving no possible out route for themselves. It's classic Blazers.
You know who's a good player who's still available, and there's rumors about where he's going. So he may appear to be available. Maybe it's already a done deal. Dario Saric.
Oh,
I think he's a good player, and I've always thought that.
You're just saying that because he's going to go to the Warriors. Huh?
Nope, no, I'm not. And I know that's where he's rumored to be headed,
rumors,
but
yeah.
it could depend on that some of these other dominoes need to fall before he decides where to go. But he's a good player.
No, I really like Saric. Saric brings a little edge to him too. That's what I really like. Is he's not just I'm going to stand out on 3-point line and do nothing else. He'll get in the trenches. He'll get some rebounds, but he can also shoot. He's got good footwork, and
he's a good shooter.
He's definitely not the Dario Saric that we were promised when he was drafted, but he's definitely
he's a really high pick, huh?
He was, I think, top 4 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
So anyway, there are still some players out there.
Somewhere out there.
We have no indication yet as to whether the Kings are still looking.
Yeah, we haven't heard them connected with anybody in a while. I think there was rumors they were tied in with Torrey Craig. He obviously went. I believe there was also rumors they were tied in with Mason Plumlee. He's now gone as well. So nobody's still out in the free agency market that the Kings have been directly linked to.
This surprised me, but I heard Dave make a really good point today.
What?
Yeah. And I thought there must be something wrong with me or my car.
Clearly.
But no, he was saying that on Plumlee, hey, just because you see that, well, this guy signed so-and-so with so-and-so for this much, Kings could offer that much, but that doesn't mean that the Kings could have taken him, because he probably wanted to play more, play more than he would have played here.
Yeah. I mean, he truly split time with Zubac last year after that trade. Like it was a real 24 minutes, 24. Is that right? Yeah. 24 minute split. And in Sacramento, if you're signing up to be Domas's backup regular season, you're maybe playing 15 to 20 postseason, maybe 10 minutes. Like Domas is going to get 35 plus minutes in the playoffs. So that makes sense to me.
Plumlee, and bless him, he probably feels like I'm a starter. Maybe the league doesn't know it, but I am. So.
Yeah. Mace in your face.
As far as the 49ers go, I know I mentioned them right before we went to break here. We talked a little bit earlier about positional issues with the 49ers in terms of how much they're spending for each position relative to the rest of the league. 49ers rank 31st in the NFL in the amount of money they'll be paying this year to defensive backs.
Yeah.
And for all the talk of how the 49ers, they got quarterback issues because who knows about Purdy and Trey Lance and Sam Darnold. I think the 49ers have their biggest worries at the cornerback position. David Lombardi points out back in 2021, they were thin at quarter, at corner. They were thin at corner. That led to big problems. 376 yards allowed via defensive pass interference penalties. And that derailed the team in the fourth quarter of that game against the Rams. So last year they had better depth. Where do they stand now? They do have their new defensive coordinator is a defensive back guy.
Yeah.
So there should be some benefits there. But they got Charvarius Ward, Diamador Lenore, but then they've got some unproven players behind them. So I think it's a concern because it's a rather important position.
It is. It's a very important position, and the fact that the 49ers are spending 31st most in the league is not great, especially at such an important position where receivers nowadays are valued and passing in general is up. You generally are going to want to be good at those corner and at the safety spot, but when we mention the positional breakdown, I think the Niners are doing a good job of kind of counterbalancing that with spending the most on the defensive line, because corners become a whole lot less relevant if the quarterback is sacked every play within 4 or 5 seconds. So I think that's where the Niners are banking, that's
the calculation.
That
you're
the
right.
D-line is going to be so good, and they're forking up the money for it. Javon Hargrave now in there. Bosa still hasn't gotten an extension. But Eric Armstead as well. Like they're hoping that and banking on those guys creating the pressure and taking pressure off of the corners. But even the corners the Niners have, at least in terms of their production last year, again, like pretty solid, especially considering what they're spending for it. I think if they can continue to get value out of that position, I mean, it's going to bode well for them. But if we're looking for the hole in the Death Star that you can shoot the laser through and everything blows up, you could argue that it's corner.
Were you watching Star Wars yesterday?
I was not.
A whole bunch of them were on TNT.
Really?
Yeah.
May July 4th be with you or something?
Maybe that's what it was. But, to think that, our starting corners will last the whole year is like thinking in baseball.
That's true.
We got 5 starters, and they're good, and they're going to last the whole season.
It's a good point.
So you got Ward, you got Lenore, and then you got guys like Ambry Thomas, Sammy Womack III, then you got a rookie, Darrell Luter. You got an undrafted rookie, Deshaun Jameson. So the depth there is fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But you're right. Their calculation clearly is if the quarterback sacked, doesn't matter who's back there defending the receiver.
No, and I mean, the Niners are also stacked everywhere else on the defensive. They got Fred Warner, one of, if not the best linebacker in the NBA, in the NFL. And then, you throw that on with their D line, and also they do have Hufanga back there as a safety as well. Had a great season last year.
Good point. I'm just talking about the corners.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not like their secondary is really struggling, and it's you're gonna have to be bad at you can't be great at anything. I know the Eagles are damn close, but you're gonna have to have some holes on your roster somewhere, especially when you're paying certain positions as much as you are. And corner is probably one of the least ideal places to have that weakness be, but
I think that position has become more important,
absolutely,
because of the rule changes and the fact that passing is
way
prolific than it's ever been.
Right.
Yeah,
absolutely. And they could get killed on it, but if they're banking on that D line, and they're banking on Steve Wilkes, like you mentioned, being a D back coach in the past, can he elevate or just keep them afloat again? Kind of like what we're talking about with the Kings defense in general. It's not about the Niners being, they don't have to be the best. They just kind of need to be a middle of the road passing team and not have it kill them on a week to week basis. And, they have at least top end, Charvarius Ward and Diamador Lenore, I think are enough. But like you mentioned, if you're planning to have those guys last the entire season again, that's going to be a tough bet.
Now, I don't mean to make you mad.
Sure.
I'm not making this up. I read this somewhere today.
Okay.
The Vikings, the question with them is whether the defense is good enough this year. Is that,
if we want to talk about bad corners, oh boy, let me tell you about something. The Minnesota Vikings really struggle at the cornerback position. I won't say worse than anybody, but they're banking on a lot of rookies to help out their secondary. And it's going to be the defense. The Vikings defense was terrible last year. I'm just hoping it's bad this
Did
year.
you ever hear, I think I may have told you, the Reggie McKenzie, Mark Davis story about the napkin?
No. Reggie McKenzie, former Raider coach?
Raider GM?
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, and Reggie's at a restaurant with Mark Davis. I think they're still in Oakland. And Mark Davis takes a napkin and he tears 2 edges off it and hands it to Reggie McKenzie. He's like, okay. And Mark Davis says, Reggie, I need 2 corners.
But
I don't think he was like joking. It's like, hello, Reggie, this is what I need. Anyway, that's the way it was reported. I wasn't there. It was written about. Can you imagine if you're Reggie McKenzie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Wait, what?
Yeah, like you could have just said it. You didn't have to make some weird metaphor of like, yeah, you see, I ripped off the edges of this napkin, and that's what.
Hey, you dummy! I need 2 corners.
Come on. Yeah, how did you not get that?
Dame or the beard? Who's the bigger offseason story now? That's next on Chris and Company, Watkins, and me, Whitey, on Sactown Sports.
Get all the latest 49ers news heading into the 2023 season on Sactown Sports.
I think Brock was smart, and we kind of facilitated that he met with a bunch of different surgeons. The hope is he's ready for the regular season. We'll take it as it comes, as we're doing. He's working incredibly hard, and the early returns are really good.
Sactown Sports, Sacramento's official home for 49ers football.
Summertime is a great time to get your home evaluated for solar, and while you're at it, make sure your roof is in good shape for all seasons. Hey, Jason Ross here to tell you about ACR Solar and Home Services. Go to acrsolar.com to find out all the different things that they can provide for you. And while we're all watching utility costs go up, along with everything else, why not make the most of the sunshine beating down on your roof? Harness that solar power and cut those rising utility bills while at the same time improving the value of your home. ACR Solar and Home Services makes it easy with a simple evaluation that'll show you just what it would take to get your home generating savings that help your bottom line and help protect the environment. So start now, and while you're there, ACR Solar and Home Services can make sure your roof is in prime condition. So just go to acrsolar.com and start your savings today. ACR Solar and Home Services, quality, value, and integrity since 1979.
On job sites, few things are more important than a solid work boot. At Boot Barn Work, we pride ourselves on knowing that no matter your trade, when there's hard work to be done, your boot should be built for nonstop protection and mobility. Thoroughgood checks all the boxes. Their Wear Anywhere boots are time-tested and crafted with the highest quality materials for relentless support. For job-fitted boots, Thoroughgood at Boot Barn Work.
Kenny and Jerry here from Bell Brothers. Imagine if every time you bought something, you could get a second one for 30% off. Buy one car, get the second one for 30% off.
Buy one TV, get the second one at 30% off. Buy a new house and get the second one at 30% off.
At Bell Brothers, that's exactly what we're offering this spring on windows and doors. When you buy one brand new energy-efficient window for your home, you'll get the second one at 30% off.
A minimum purchase is required, but the discount applies to every second window you buy. For example, if you buy 5 windows, you'll get 5 windows at 30% off.
The same is true for doors. Buy one, get one for 30% off. And for doors, the minimum is just 2.
So call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you find the right customers. Spread awareness of your product or services. We can help build trust in your brand and services with a digital marketing campaign. Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing campaigns that deliver results. Don't wait. Get started today. Contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results.
What's going on? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. 4th of July sales event is finally here. Chad, tell me what's going on at Hoblet.
Well, for a very short time, we're offering the biggest savings so far in 2023 with up to $12,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Ram 1500 Laramie, Longhorn, and limited crew cabs. That means you can get one of the most luxurious and popular trucks on the road starting at only $49,995. Plus, Pablo is California's #1 Ram truck dealer, so you can take advantage of our huge selection with over 500 trucks available, including those hard-to-find heavy-duty trucks.
Okay, but what makes Hoblet better than the dealer down the street?
We have no surprise fees, add-ons, or dealer markups, just savings. One of the many reasons we received the Walter P. Chrysler Award for outstanding customer service service for 3 years in a row now. Plus, with Hoblett's Peace of Mind guarantee, you can buy with confidence.
Stop by their Hoblet Ram Truck Center for a test drive today or search, select, and save through the whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Best prices, best selection, period.
12,000 total net savings after 8,000 factory rebates and 4,000 dealer discount. 10 at this net savings. Sample VIN 549186. Must be California resident. Qualify. See dealer for details.
The Gold Rush Classic takes place July 13th and 14th in Rancho Murrieta. Come join the fun and play golf with a celebrity, or just check out the concert. The Gold Rush Classic, where the stars and guitars shine. For more info, go to goldrushclassic.org.
Keeping you company with the company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Great to be here with you. Thanks for listening. Starting Monday, new show. You didn't like the My Name's First. I had nothing to do with it. Whitey and Watkins. Yeah. But
we'll workshop it. We'll workshop
For now,
it.
that's the title. That's what they told me. They didn't ask me.
That's what they told you.
Yeah.
That's what they told you.
And they told you what?
They said just let him have it for a couple weeks, and then, we'll say it was an accident that on the billboard it says Watkins and Whitey, and it's fine.
Billboard.
Can I tell you?
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't supposed to. No,
a really embarrassing story from the bygone days of radio. I was on a show once, and that's all I'll say. I won't say anything about who was on it.
Okay.
And there was an issue whose name would go first.
Okay.
You know how they decided it? And I was one of the people.
Flipped a coin.
Put names in a hat. And then drew one, and
because everyone
your
was
boy's
okay with
name
that.
went first.
Really?
Do you freeze the envelope?
Yeah, exactly. You pulled some David Stern stuff there.
I didn't. I don't know if anyone else did, but I didn't. And it's like, it doesn't matter.
It really does not matter at all.
But the Whitey and Stephen A. Smith was fantastic. I really did enjoy it.
The Whitey and Stephen A. Smith show was one to be remembered for sure. Yeah, I don't care. I really don't care. I think let's just make that clear and obvious right now. I don't care. I don't think you care either, do you?
Nope. Chris and Co is fine with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were fine just being and Co?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a true team player.
I wasn't just fine with it. It was an honor.
Wow.
Yeah.
The honor has been all mine.
He's just trying to get on your top 5 of best Chris and Co.
It's a good point, Chris. That's a good point. Noted.
Yeah,
Noted.
Rumor has it that since Friday is technically the last edition of Chris and Co, that Chris is going to rank all the co-hosts he's had during the run on Friday.
We'll see.
I'm just hoping for top 15.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I got a rough outline right now, and
I'm hoping I'm on
you're
list.
on the margins. You're on the margins. We'll see how the rest of this week
I know
goes.
you're tough but fair.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Right now, who is the bigger offseason NBA story? Free agency is, for the most part, come and gone. Dame or the beard? Bigger offseason story.
I think Damian Lillard. It feels like Lillard has more traction. The Harden thing just honestly makes me really upset because if you wanted to go to a different team, James, opt out of your contract. If you're going to opt into your contract, you're not going to be able to decide, or actually you did decide where you want to play. You're playing for the team that you opted into the contract with, and that's the Philadelphia 76ers. I don't think either of these deals are going to happen anytime soon, but I think Damian Lillard has more potential to actually impact what happens next year in terms of the title being handed out than what James Harden does. And that's more based off of the kind of guys they are. I think if James goes to a new environment, just a long adjustment period of James having to figure out what role he wants to play. If he wants to be a scorer, if he wants to be James Harden, the leading the NBA in assist guy, or if that's all going to change once the postseason happens. Does he care about winning? To me, I know Damian Lillard only wants to win. And when he goes to his new team, he's just going to be a lot easier to integrate. And also he's going to be a lot more low maintenance where you're not going to have to worry about Dame fitting into a role. He's going to do what it takes to win.
Couple of things as you're talking here. I wasn't really paying attention. So my mind starts.
Me either.
Don't you think that, to the point you made, Harden over the last few years, I don't think he's gotten better.
No. He's gotten different, but I don't know if it's improved.
I was saying Friday, I remember saying that for Harden and Kyrie, it's kind of a rude awakening this year. It's like, guess what? You don't get to just play for whoever you want to play for.
Right.
You can say, I'm going to meet with this team or that team. And maybe in the past you've had success with that. forced your way here or there, but it's not your right to just say, if you're under contract, I'm going to play for these guys. I saw a story today, and I should double check on this, but I believe there was a story saying that Kyrie re-signed with the Mavs, and he didn't really have a lot of options, if any.
I don't know what his other options were. I don't know who was lining up to pay Kyrie Irving 30 plus or whatever. Did he make 40? He made a crazy amount of money with that new deal, and I don't think anybody was lining up to do it. I don't think that there's more than 3 teams who would even take Kyrie Irving on their team point blank period. Like, I think that there's a lot of people who are just out on the Kyrie Irving business in total.
Yeah, I think another reason, I agree with you. I think Dame is a bigger story now. Part of that is what constitutes a bigger story. Well, what's more impactful? What do people care about?
Right.
And I think fans care a lot more about where Dame Lillard goes right now than they do about James Harden. I think there's a lot of Harden fatigue. Like, he wants to go somewhere again.
Right.
And he's going to go somewhere, and then he'll be there for 1 year. Then he's going to be a free agent again. Tired of it. But Dame is like, whoa, this could really impact the league next year.
Right. Well, and there's also the angle of this is the guy that was supposed to be different. He was, I don't want to, like, I'm not saying that to bash Damian Lillard.
No, it's a great point.
Finally wanting to leave, but
the guy that would never asked out.
He's asked out, and he would like to be taken care of also. And I think it's going to be an interesting thing that we might see in the future. Like, could this determine, in the future, if people are going to be good to their guys? Like we saw Danny Ainge, what he did to Isaiah Thomas. He didn't care. He was like, I don't care that Isaiah's just had that family, a death in the family. I don't care that Isaiah Thomas is coming off of surgery and could really benefit from familiar environment and not a new shakeup. I'm going to trade him for Kyrie Irving because that's what's best for me. I wonder if Portland has the same lack of loyalty, though they've been preaching years and years that this is all for Dame and whatever Dame wants, he'll get. Now it's time to live up to that. Will you truly give? Dame has said he only wants to go to Miami. That's not going to be the best move for Portland Trailblazers. Will they abide by it, or will they do what I think they should do and what's best for their franchise and just take the best deal that makes the Portland Trailblazers better?
Which is why media members, anyway, have started talking about Dame and the Jazz. I don't know that Dame's talked about it. I don't even know that the Jazz has talked to Portland about it.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for where they could make the best deal, Utah might just be in a position where they can make a better deal for Dame than any other team. But would he want to go there? And if he doesn't, and you're Danny Ainge, do you care? Do you want to bring in a guy that he doesn't want to be here? Or, do you feel like that's all right? He's Dame Lillard.
Yeah.
And we're close now. We made great strides last year. He could make us a real contender.
Yeah, I think if you're Danny Ainge, you have to take the risk. I think you bring in the talent and you try and, Dame's not going to retire. Dame is not the type of guy to sit out basketball games. He has always said he loves the game. Like he's a guy who's respected the game for years now. I have a tough time seeing him really be a distraction. I can't imagine Damian Lillard. Dame just seems like a really good guy and especially a really good teammate. I would have it. I think it'd be. I have a tough time seeing Damian Lillard being a distraction.
Plus, if you're Portland, and you couldn't say this publicly, but to the whole point of you got to do right by Dame.
Yeah.
Do you see how much money we're paying?
Right.
The contract we signed him to.
Yeah, we're taking care of him. We've done more than take care of you, Dame, and.
If they traded him to Utah, there would be a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's terrible." After all he did for the Trailblazers franchise, and they exile him to Utah, despicable.
Sure, and I think that those people are going to exist no matter what. I think, unless he goes to Miami, but I think that frankly, it could be one of those situations, kind of like Chris Webber here in Sacramento, where when he arrives, he might not be thrilled, but once the basketball starts, again, like Will Hardy's a really good coach. Lauri Markkanen took a massive step last year. Walker Kessler's a legitimately good center. There's pieces there, and then Jordan Clarkson as well.
Yeah.
They're also a team where for a lot, especially for a guy like Dame or for James Harden, you're going to have to give up something pretty significant in terms of a player. Well, Utah's in a situation with all the assets they have. They don't really have to disrupt their team all too much.
You didn't even mention John Collins.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
who's from Utah, and Dame went to college in Utah.
And I guess, they have John Collins, and he is a piece. I still don't really expect John Collins. I think John Collins will have some nights, but I don't think John Collins is going to be that big of an impact.
And I don't even have an idea where. I guess Harden probably ends up going to the Clippers, and Dame probably goes to the Heat.
Is there a 3-team deal there that can make everybody happy somehow? Like
you're the GM, you tell me.
I keep coming back to it, and I can't figure it out, but it feels like with how unhappy both of those two, or I shouldn't say unhappy Dame is, but with their situation souring the way it has and not having many suitors out there, it just feels like that there's something there to be worked out. It's just, who will be the third team? Will it be a 4-team? Can the Kings get involved in being that third or fourth team? That's what I want.
The Kings could have drafted Dame Lillard. Did you know that?
I heard that.
I'm going to need you to stop that right now.
I heard that.
I can bring that up, not anybody else.
The Kings' offseason moves were what? Fill in the blank. What were they? That's next. Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Apparently, there is a cage match brewing between Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. Now, I hope this happens for many reasons. Number one, it just goes with the downfall of our society. Number two, nothing more fun than seeing super ultra mega billionaires just beat the hell out of each other. Number three, it would obviously be a terrible, terrible, terrible fight.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-330-1991. That's 1-800-330-1991. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-330-1991. SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Sacramento, get ready for the launch of Flex Power Tools at Fasteners Tool Outlet. Come on down Saturday, July 15th for a one-day Flex Tool launch party. Witness live demos, score unbeatable deals on all Flex products, and get a free 3.5 amp hour 24-volt battery with every kit purchase. Grab a rear handle saw kit with a free 10 amp hour battery for just $299. Power up with Flex at Fasteners Tool Outlet. Don't miss it. Saturday, July 15th at 6701 Power Inn Road. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Take it on the local level.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. Over the long holiday weekend, the Kings made a couple of moves. First was the Kings and Domantas Sabonis agreeing to a 5-year, $217 million extension. Next, the Kings came to an agreement with the EuroLeague MVP Sasha Vezenkov for 3 years and $20 million. Day 2 of the California Classic is today at the Golden One Center. The Classic will start with the Warriors against the Hornets at 3. That will be followed by the Spurs and Lakers and end with the Kings taking on Jaime Jaquez Jr. and the Miami Heat at 7. You can listen to tonight's Kings Heat game starting with game night at 6 and tip-off schedule for 7 right here on Sactown Sports. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Chris and company with Whitey and Watkins.
California Classic, as Christopher Lott just pointed out, resumes today. But the big Kings news today, Chris Watkins, as you well know, is the reveal of the Kings' new statement jerseys. A lot more purple than some people thought we were going to see from any Kings jerseys this year.
Yeah, they look all right. Like, that kind of got lost in it all, that the jerseys are okay. Like, they are not terrible. I traditionally am
that's not a really like a ringing endorsement.
It's not, but honestly, you'd be surprised, especially with the history of the Kings jerseys. Not horrible is a real compliment, because usually, like those red ones, the baby blue one that we have displayed over here, not great. Just not a good history of having good jerseys. So I will take
I didn't
solid
care for those black ones either, with the black and the light blue.
I didn't either, with the checkerboard on the side. I thought they looked like they belonged, like a gas station would make like knockoff jerseys. And I think that's exactly
like
what
you'd see in like a bad knockoff basketball movie.
Exactly.
Like, no team would really wear that.
Exactly. That's
Anyway,
exactly how I feel about
So
those.
that one is for you to come home with me?
It's the only Tyrese jersey we have here. So I kind of want dibs on that. But sure, Chris, we can fight for it. Maybe we can pick names out of a hat.
So in what ways is the one that they revealed today evocative of the beam? Because I know that's part of it.
Is it really? Oh,
I believe so.
Maybe it's like the beam going into the night sky, and that's the black with the purple.
Yeah, because there is kind of a color fade on the jersey.
Yes,
right?
there is. Yeah, it's like a true gradient. Like it does flow pretty nicely from black to purple. I don't know. We'll have to see if there's any press release on the intricacies of, yes, the gradient is meant to represent the purple beam shooting into the night sky to
You're
resemble
a
a
graphic
victory.
artist. You should appreciate that more than most people.
I appreciate it, but I do not appreciate
It represents the light that the city of Sacramento sees after a Kings victory.
Boom. Yes, and it's got to be. You have to read it in a soft, inspirational voice where you change the tone of your voice as you go on to speak of the wonderful beam as it beams through the night sky. Will beam through the jerseys on the floor. I don't know. I don't really get it, but the jerseys are okay. I like them. They're fine. I don't love how they seem to have crammed Sacramento and Kings into the lettering, but I do like that they seemingly brought back the old font of those early 2000 jerseys that we were talking about earlier. I like that integration, but besides that, the jerseys they're whatever to me.
The previously released Icon and Association Edition uniforms honoring the past, according to the Kings. Tradition reinvented, honoring the past, honoring the past while crafting new traditions that embrace a thrilling new era of Kings basketball. And I'm looking for the official breakdown of what today's revealed statement jerseys represent.
I'll try and get something later.
We'll
today.
find that.
Yeah. I mean, they're fine. Yeah, they're fine. Like, also, it's key to see how they look in person, because generally, like,
good point.
The photos will be done up a certain way, and when you see them in person on somebody too, it kind of changes your mind.
Yeah, that's true. I did not like the gray jerseys at all, but then once I started seeing them wear, I was like, okay, I can dig this.
Yeah,
I've never seen a jersey quite like this. Maybe I have, where it's purple and then it becomes black on the other side.
Because the thing is, it's not necessarily like it's because the old,
not just Kings or Sacramento Kings.
Yeah,
on these.
Because traditionally, if they're going to split the jersey colors, it will be a hard line in the middle of the jersey that is, this half is purple, this half is black. This is more of a gradient where it's definitely just flows a lot easier. And I don't think, to your point, I don't think I've ever seen a jersey that's done that, at least in the NBA.
Mhm.
So I'm curious to see how it looks in person. I think they'll have it on display later today at the Cal Classic. So I'll get that up on the Sactown socials and the people have the people decide, because that's really what matters.
And the purple seems to be an issue. It looked like the team has wanted to move away from the purple, and these have a lot of purple. So we're not sure why the Kings want to move away from purple, if in fact that's even the case. All that said, as far as the moves the Kings have made, the Kings offseason moves have been what? Fill in the blank. Kings offseason moves have been, in a word, anything you want to use.
It has been solidifying. How about that? Solidifying. They are cashing in, I guess. They are doubling down on the success that they had last year. That's right.
We ain't running this back.
Yes, running it back in would be.
That's one thing for the team that won the championship to say that. When you're out in the first round,
we won the Pacific Division. Come on, Whitey. It's not like we came empty-handed. I think there's going to be a good element of, they added a lot of new pieces last year, keeping some level of continuity, but still adding to it. Like, it's not literally like the Kings are running back the same exact team 100%. There's a lot of common characters. I think Chimezie Metu is actually the only person who is officially not on the team that was on the team last year. But they're adding things as well. Like, it is the team that they had last year, but it's also Sasha Vezenkov. It's also Chris Duarte. It's also possibly Colby Jones, possibly Jalen Slauson. There's other things that are adding to the team that they
he's
had
going to have
last
to make
year.
a shot in Summer League before he can start talking
Jalen
about
Slauson?
Yeah, before he can start talking
that seems fair to me. That seems very fair to me.
Probably not a nice thing to say, but we're having fun.
Hey, we're just having fun here. We're just
the dying days of Chris and
Chris
Co.
and
here.
Co. Right, that's right. We're not going to be here in a couple days anyway, so it's fine.
To me, the Kings' offseason moves have been, the word I would use is measured.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's a very Monty McNair word. Like, that's a very, like, that fits Monty's mold.
Calculated,
Sure.
Maybe a synonym there, but just type of moves, nothing bold, nothing splashy, but there are solid reasons behind each of these moves. Measured. And I like that better than the big splashy, let's go get this guy, that guy. I know, again, there are probably people right now that are still mad that Kyle Kuzma is not going to be wearing the new statement uniform.
Yeah,
I'm grateful for that.
I'm very grateful, because there's potential that goes wrong. Like, what if they sign, and this is living in what if world, but what if they sign Kyle Kuzma to a big deal, preventing them from bringing back Harrison Barnes, and then Kyle Kuzma gets hurt for 15, 20, 25, maybe even a full season? Well, then you're really screwed. Now, whatever, if Harrison Barnes goes, obviously if one of your top guys goes down, you're going to be in trouble anyway. But I think adding the level of depth that they did is just, it's a good measure in trying to sustain success. And I don't think there was a guarantee, especially with how good everybody else in the West got, that the Kings were going to be a shoe-in to make the playoffs, especially if they would have messed up the core they had. Now I think there's a lot better chance, just with the level of continuity. You know exactly what you're getting. And again, you have a base for what you think you can be, and you've just added a couple pieces onto there. To me, that's totally fine. I know people wanted to make a big swing and to make this team ceiling higher than it was last year, but the Kings were, you can't live in what if world, but they were one game away from being a second round team. Why can't you run it back this year and see if you can make that second round, or maybe even contest to make the third round as well? I think that the talent was there last year. They've done nothing but just add to it. I don't see what there is to be upset about.
The Kings' offseason moves have been, fill in the blank. Epic Airbee says purposeful.
Purposeful,
so we're kind of harvesting the same vibe there. What does Chris Verlaud say? Let us know when you have one, Chris. You can take your time. You don't need
I'll
it
think
right
about
now.
it.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know. All that said, see, I love the Duarte move. It reminds me of like a Moneyball move in baseball.
Yeah.
Like, this guy, his value's down now. So we didn't have to give up a ton to get him.
Yeah.
But as a rookie, he looked really promising.
Yeah.
And there's every reason to think that that's really who he is. So you bring him in. I love that. At the same time, is this going to be enough? Are you going to improve enough with these moves you made? That's what concerns me. Measured moves that make sense in a vacuum, but you got to look around. And I know Monty McNair knows more about this than I do, but what else is going on around you in the conference? Have you improved enough?
I think so. What I do to build on your Duarte point as well, I like that the Kings really got him. There was an element of he took a step back last year, but it was more just he got lost in a numbers game where Indiana brings in Bruce Brown. Yep. They bring in Ben Shepherd. They have Benedict Mathurin. They have tons of guys that they want to give minutes to, and Duarte was just kind of the outside looking in. Still is a really good player and can find minutes. But I think the key thing is that the Kings depth is going to be a real asset for them. And think about the teams that got significantly, like the Phoenix. Phoenix is really top heavy, but they don't have the level of depth that Sacramento is going to have. And we saw in the playoffs, depth can be something that elevates you.
Metu now. What are you talking about?
Exactly. They're going to be relying heavily on Chimezie Metu to be a legitimate backup center or a backup to Kevin Durant.
And I think they re-signed Damian Lee. So you might want to rethink your, maybe not.
They have a lot of my least favorite players on Phoenix. That's what I would say. Phoenix is going to be a really, really big rival for at least me personally this year. I'm not a Damian Lee guy. And now that he's gone, Chimezie Metu was not my favorite Sacramento King. So
He was not a fan.
Yeah, I will be. I think I will be actively rooting against Phoenix success this year. Love Devin Booker. Sorry, Chris. Still love Devin Booker, but not a big fan.
Preservation. That's how I describe the Kings' moves.
Yeah.
Okay. Kind of standing pat, keeping what you have,
making sure you've got Sabonis all locked up.
Yeah,
that's a good point too. Yeah, didn't factor in the Sabonis extension as well.
I don't know if that makes sense grammatically, but I understand where you're going. The Kings' offseason moves have been preservation,
preserves.
Yeah, okay.
Preservative.
I think that's it.
There we go.
Yeah. The Kings' offseason moves have been what? Blank. Fill in the blank for us. Also, we'll look at the most improved team in the West right now. Who is it? That's coming right up here on Chris and Co. Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Need your Niners fix? Sactown Sports has you covered.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think Trey looks significantly better than he did last year. I really do. I think his confidence is there. I think that he's throwing really good passes. I mean, just watching him, he just looks so much more comfortable and confident in the pocket, and I really appreciate that from him, from all the work that he's put into it. He just looks like he's having fun, because when he's out there having a good time, it definitely brings up everyone around him.
Get all your 49ers coverage leading into the 2023 season at Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win. Unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion, persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit KHTK.com.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Live and local, it's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
All right, somebody on the YouTube chat, bear with me on this because I'm not sure I believe it, but we're going somewhere. Brian on the YouTube chat says King should sign Yorgos Papagiannis. Let's get weird. And then Chris just mentioned something that sent me to Reddick. Yorgos Papagiannis is currently working out in San Francisco, according to a Greek news outlet journalist. He's been in the U.S. He's working out with multiple NBA teams, the story says.
Hopefully not Sacramento.
Maybe something lost in the translation. He is currently in San Francisco waiting for an offer, according to a Greek journalist. Now, okay, a lot of guys do that. They work out for teams. They wait for offers. The offers never come.
Yes.
But still, when you mentioned this to me, Chris, I was like, come on.
Seems like one of those things that couldn't be true, right? There's no way. There is no way after watching Yorgos Papagiannis play basketball, even for a minute, that you would ever think, yeah, this guy's going to come back around. There's something there. I mean, there was nothing. There was nothing about the Yorgos Papagiannis Sacramento Kings era that left me even a semblance of, I think give him a couple years, let him fill into his body, and there's something. No.
Because that was Vlade drafted him, 13th when he could have he might not have been drafted at all.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
yes.
Here's what apparently is going on. Just like Brooke Lopez developed a 3-point shot at age 28.
Okay.
Papagiannis has finally developed a reliable 3-point shot. EuroLeague in 33 games, he only took 1.1 attempts per game.
Okay.
Shot the 3 ball at 48.6%.
What?
According to this, Greek Basket League, 21 games, 1.4 attempts per game, 56.7%.
Are we gonna have to apologize to Vlade Divac? Is that what you're telling me? Because shout out Vlade, who I guess if he's gonna be right on this, Vlade would always compare Papagiannis to that of Marc Gasol, would say like he had the kind of playmaking vision, could see him stretching the floor at one point. It's just unfortunate that it took him, how old is Papagiannis now? 26? Took him 8 years to develop that, 8 years too late to develop that. So,
he's only 26.
Maybe I'll believe it. 26. We're excited about Sasha coming over at 27. So I guess there's, Papagiannis, if you would have drafted Sasha Vezenkov at 18, maybe he wouldn't look great either. So
good for him.
I guess, yeah. Also, you know what? Let's not lose that. Like, it was a very bad time here in Sacramento, but good on him for not having that absolutely kill his entire career. Like, that's something where emotionally it could take a toll on you, just never really getting a level of confidence. But shout out for Papagiannis for bouncing back and just not letting that affect him at all. And clearly he's made a really good career out of it. He's on the second best team in Greece behind behind Vezenkov's Olympiakos. So, he's landed on his feet.
I think I know where this is headed. According to Greek media Sport 24, on the table for Papagiannis, he has lucrative offers from Panathinaikos, BC, Athens for the renewal of the contract at 1.2 million. Is that euros? I believe that's euros. And from Fenerbahce, Beko, Istanbul at 1.6 million.
Fenerbahce.
Yeah. Fenerbahce. Thank you. Fenerbahce would be German, isn't there?
Yeah.
Fenerbahce, Beko, Istanbul, 1.6 million euros per season. So
he's trying to get more money.
Yeah.
This is a leverage thing.
But it looks like he could actually play a little bit. Not only can he play a little bit, he can shoot a little bit. And I never thought we'd be talking about that today.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Papagiannis can shoot the three.
Papagiannis shooting threes. And, actually I did see a clip. I hate to say it. The shot looks all right. Like, there's no hitch in that thing.
I saw a link. I was afraid to look at the clip.
You might want to look at it. He looks pretty decent. I don't know about his mobility. That was a big thing when he was here in Sacramento. He also looks incredible shape. Like, when he was here in Sacramento, he was a little bit of a doughy, pudgier guy. He's lost a lot of weight. And if it translates to mobility, I'm not going to sign Yorgos Papagiannis, but
you can't even say it.
I can't even say his name.
Which is the bigger surprise, that Papagiannis can shoot the three ball, or that, as it turns out, Vlade was a genius of a GM? Which is a bigger surprise?
I think Vlade being a genius GM is probably the bigger surprise. And
he was ahead of his time.
That's exactly what it was. He was light years ahead, if you will. He was just a little bit too far ahead. That would be the biggest comeback story I think I've ever seen. If Yorgos Papagiannis can somehow come back and be a usable NBA player, that would definitely make my bingo card of most unlikely things that I thought I would ever see.
Good for both of them, Vlade and Papagiannis.
Yeah.
The Real Cheat says a lot of busts in that draft. Recheck that list. That was the Marquise Chris draft.
Oh, yeah. I convinced myself of Marquise Chris for a minute.
Wade Baldwin in that draft.
That was a really bad one.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me look at this draft. Papagiannis. If I had to guess, that was the 2013 NBA draft here. Let's see. Sorry for this great radio here. 2016 NBA draft. Yeah, I mean, it's not great. It's definitely not great. Sabonis was picked at 11. If we're talking who the Kings could have taken instead of Papagiannis, Denzel Valentine was immediately after. Juancho Hernan Gomez.
Yes.
Could have had a TV
Hey,
star.
wasn't that the Scal draft? Scal and Mal.
Yes, it was. Malachi Richardson at 22, Scala Bissier at 28. Yeah, he's whoever texted or sent that message in is not wrong. You know, Vlade definitely did not knock the pick out of the park with Papagiannis, but wasn't really much else there. Yeah, Wade Baldwin, like you mentioned, Malik Beasley was 19th,
But that
Karis
was
LeVer's 20th.
The best move Vlade made, I thought, when they drafted Marquise Chris and traded him for Bogdanovich. Right?
Yes.
To Phoenix.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Bogdanovich, was a much better NBA player than Marquise Chris ever was. And I mean, that's actually a great point for them to get Bogey out of that draft is a really big, it's probably Vlade's biggest victory as a GM is bringing over Bogdanovich.
Beeman on the YouTube chat says, I don't know if it's a word here as we ask you what word describes the Kings off season at this point. Their off season has been, I don't know if it's a word as much as it is a sound, but
that's fair. That's very fair. I think I think it left a lot of people cold. Just for the sake of running it back. Like it's never going to be sexy unless you're an NBA champion to say, yeah, we're going to bring the gang back together. Usually, I mean, something went wrong in the season. And so it's like, okay, we clearly have points that we can get better at. If you're going to tell a fan base, we're just going to run the same thing out there and hope for a different result. I mean, it drives people to insanity at some point. I'm not there yet, but
I understand the point and I appreciate the feedback. Thank you, Beeman. To me, it wasn't it was either like pretty solid or it's like, it was they made a mistake. Right. I think pretty solid is going to carry the day, but they do have to figure out how they're going to get better. And it would just mean, it's all right. It's either going to be where they are right now. There is you don't just stay where you are. So you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's not like, it was fine. It's either going to be, wow, they made some solid moves or
they didn't make enough.
They've missed an opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It is one of those things. It can't be, because they're not going to be 48 wins.
They'll win. They'll be the same as last year.
No, there's going to be something different. Whether it be, last year they at least took the Warriors 7. Yeah, this year they got swept or they went 4-1. Or it's going to be like the Kings got better. They got over that first round hump, or they are now second round team, and now it's a second level or a new level of expectation. To me, that's the healthiest way of building. I'm not for this. Kings sign Kyle Kuzma and risk it all. And if you could make the conference finals or you could get eliminated in the first round for the next 5 years. I just think how they're positioned right now is there's still room for improvement. Like, they're going to run it back, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're running it back the next 4 or 5 years. I think they have enough different, levels of contracts to where if they want to move on from Kevin Huerter and Davion Mitchell to upgrade at a position, they have the flexibility to do so. And they also, I just really like how they're built. I think that they did not make some massive move to make themselves massively better, but
I don't know that move was out there.
I don't know if that move was out there. And also I think that they were a pretty good team last year too. So running it back shouldn't be a disappointment for a team that hasn't been good for a long time.
I do think there's not a lot of room for error, not a lot of margin for error. I think they need Vezenkov to be good. He has to be a guy who's a solid contributor. I think they need Murray to be better. These things are all reasonable, but I don't think you may need all of them. If you're going to be better, you may need all of them to come to fruition. You're going to need health again next year.
Yes, that's going to be a big one.
Going to need Malik Monk to be as good, if not better, than he was last year. He was really good last year. As a playmaker, we didn't know he could do that.
Yeah, you don't want Malik Monk to kind of step. Last year, he was almost like
he's got to be good this year,
filling a role. Yeah, this year you don't want Malik Monk being like, "It's my contract year. I played really well last year. It's more Malik." I think we could use some more Malik Monk, but not an oversaturation of Malik Monk. So all of those things, everyone's still going to have to play their role, and everyone's going to have to be thriving in that role if the Kings want to find similar success.
I think the offseason was a gamble, but a very calculated gamble.
Yes, absolutely.
Up next, can you match the player with his Summer League debut numbers, Chris?
Ooh,
Can you?
I hope so.
Can you do it?
I'm a big Summer League guy, so I'm putting it all out there now.
We will find out next. Chris and Company, Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Nature Wood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
What if I told you there was a way to step into another gear for your brain and be much sharper, more focused, and improve your memory to a level that you could only dream about and notice these results in 30 minutes? Hard to believe? Neuroscientists are calling this new brain discovery the biggest advancement in brain science to date. It's called Limitless, the brain pill of the future. Take it, and within 30 minutes, you'll transport your mind to a new level of focus and clarity you would have never thought possible.
I took Limitless, and it started working in minutes. All of a sudden, it felt like a dark cloud had been lifted up right before my eyes. I have a mental clarity I've never felt before.
Biz execs, athletes, teachers, and students are calling Limitless a secret weapon for the brain. You have nothing to lose, so call now and find out how to get a free bottle today.
To find out how to get your free bottle of Limitless, call 800-605-3946. That's 800-605-3946. Get your free bottle for a limited time. Call now. 800-605-3946. 800-605-3946.
Hey, it's Nick Cattle suggesting you celebrate your 4th of July the right way with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers from Green Acres Nursery and Supply. Our Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill has turned us into pros. Napoleon grills have features other grills can't match. Built different, built better, and built to last. All made with premium steel that boasts absolute quality. Just go to Napoleon.com for your nearby Napoleon Grills dealer. Napoleon Grills, now is the time for the best selection of grills and fine accessories. Now is the time to take care of your 4th of July.
Prestige line comes with a lifetime warranty. Y'all ready to do it again, Sacramento? Country in the Park 2 is coming to Heart Health Park at Cal Expo Saturday, September 9th with Cole Swindell, Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, and more. Plus, a mechanical bull, line dancing saloon, and all the food. Tickets start at $40 or grab your Coors Light Y'all Access passes for $125. For more info, visit SactownSports.com. Country in the Park 2, brought to you by Hoblet Dodge, E2 Family Winery, and Hyatt Vacation Club.
Everyone loves to be outside, and so do mosquitoes. Protect yourself against mosquitoes and West Nile virus by following these simple tips. At least once a week, look around your yard and drain stagnant water from any containers where mosquitoes can breed. Remember to use an effective mosquito repellent, especially at dawn and dusk when mosquitoes are most active. Close all doors and be sure screens are in good working condition. At the Mosquito and Vector Control District, we're here to help. Visit us at fightthebite.net.
The Gold Rush Classic takes place July 13th and 14th in Rancho Murrieta. Come join the fun and play golf with a celebrity, or just check out the concert. The Gold Rush Classic, where the stars and guitars shine. For more info, go to goldrushclassic.org.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and, and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports headlines. Over the long holiday weekend, the Kings made a couple of moves. First was the Kings and Domantas Sabonis agreeing to a 5-year, $217 million extension. They also came to an agreement with EuroLeague MVP Sasha Vezenkov for 3 years and $20 million. Day 2 of the California Classic is today at the Golden One Center. The Classic will start with the Warriors versus the Hornets at 3. That will be followed by the Spurs and the Lakers, and end with the Kings taking on Jaime Jaquez Jr. and the Miami Heat at 7. You can listen to tonight's Kings Heat game, starting with game night at 6 and tip-off scheduled for 7, right here on Sactown Sports. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Chris and Company with Whitey and Watkins.
Do we have to declare this between Chris Ladd and Chris Watkins, Jaime Jaquez fan zone? So I get the sense both of you guys just love,
I think
crazy about him.
Chris was saying the other day, Jaime Jaquez in the race for Chris's favorite player now.
He's getting there.
Getting there.
How could that be?
It's pretty simple. It's a Mexican sensation. That's what it is.
Okay.
And
well, I respect
we're down
that.
for all Mexican sensations.
All right.
Devin Booker, number 1, of course. He is our
all
king.
right.
But
I apologize. I was
Jaime
not aware
Jaquez
of that.
close
I understand
second.
it.
Second. Yeah. And I was telling Chris the other day.
Why is Trey Lyles your favorite then?
He's great.
Is it a NAFTA thing or something?
No, Trey Lyles.
Man, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. I think it's just
okay.
I just really respect his
game.
game. No, Jaime Jaquez is nothing more than just. Oh, I actually really like Jaime Jaquez's game. You just throw on top of the fact that that he's one of the. He's not. He has Mexican lineage. I don't believe he's not Mexican born, but just one of the few legends that we have to.
His father, right? Because I saw them at the draft.
Yes. Yeah. It's his father, Jaime Jaquez Sr. Obviously.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, he's just a legend, and it appears that he's going to have a fairly decent NBA career. And I think I was telling Chris the other day, if he starts talking trash, he's going to quickly move up my list. Because to me, Jaquez just like his game has a certain level of grit to it, and a certain maybe it's just because he's on the Heat, but I see Jimmy Butler kind of energy from him.
And remember, if you talk trash to some of the Euros, they're like,
they're out. Yeah, exactly. And Jaime Jaquez is not built like that. But if he were to talk trash and be one of the trash talkers, I think it would do very well for his standings in my favorite player.
Before we get to our summer league exercise,
sure.
A couple of quick thoughts here from, again, the smartest listeners in radio, smartest YouTube viewers in radio.
That's
on the
a fact.
YouTube chat. Beeman says Memphis is going to be a problem this year. Adams healthy again with Smart. Also, Ja only having the 25-game suspension won't sink them at all. We were talking I asked the question, I should say, who is the most improved team in the West? We didn't really get to that, but thank you, Beeman, with a candidate there in the Memphis Grizzlies.
I've got questions about the replacing Tyus Jones with Marcus Smart for the 25 games. Tyus Jones, again, here Chris is again talking about how much he loves Tyus Jones or the Jones brothers, but Tyus Jones is a really quality starter level guard, and they had him as their backup when Ja was out. He was able to step up and really put starter quality production together. Marcus Smart is just not a natural point guard. He's not going to move the ball the same, and I think that they're going to really struggle in those. I know they've in the past played really well without Ja, but I think they're going to struggle for that 25 games.
There was talk about a whole season and half a season. 25 is a long time.
It's a long time. That is a long time. It's just
Marcus
about
Smart is a better player than Jones, but he's not a better point guard.
No, absolutely not. That's the perfect way of putting it. And I think when Ja's back, absolutely. I love the fit of Marcus Smart next to Ja Morant. And you're right. They are getting Steven Adams and also Brandon Clark back as well. Those are really big additions. But I just think there's way too much extra stuff going on in Memphis for them to be able to put it together.
I think they're going to benefit some from addition by subtraction. The fact that Dylan Brooks isn't there.
Sure.
Some of the things that have been said about him and the way the team reacted, I don't think he was the most popular guy with his teammates.
That's very fair. That is very fair. And, it was reflected by not coming back under any circumstance.
Yeah.
I think that really spoke to how much they
this guy's
wanted him
making
out.
things harder on us.
Yeah, sure. And I would almost guarantee they're going to have a better locker room culture than they did last year for the Ja stuff and also for the Dylan Brooks stuff. So it could be better. You're right. Just addition by subtraction. But the on the floor thing, I don't necessarily believe in Marcus Smart, true point guard.
Dwayne Baker says the Kings were the 3 seed. I don't think 5 teams in the West got better than them.
That's a good way of thinking as well. Absolutely. Like the Kings do hold, especially with running it back, like the Kings kind of do hold a certain spot in the West. And unless you get head and shoulders above them, you know, anybody can realistically feel positive about their team going into the season, but the Kings have bona fide proof of this team that we ran out last year. I don't know if they're a 3 seed, but they're 48 win caliber around that range. And I think next season, I would expect 48 to kind of be the benchmark. Can they get over 50 wins? To me is what the story of next year is going to be for the Kings.
Dallas concerns me, and I have to see how it comes together. But some of the moves they've made, it's almost like they know what they're doing.
We could have said the same thing last year. And not the they seem to know what they're doing part, but Dallas was, when they made the move for Kyrie, we were scared of them last year too. I think that it'll go better than it did last year, but
that was a desperate move, and these are more calculated.
For sure. Yeah. I just don't know, to Dwayne's point, have they made enough moves to completely leapfrog the Kings like that? Like where have they improved significantly over last year, like that much significantly? Like they didn't make the play-in last year. They have a lot of work to do.
They were vastly overrated because they somehow found themselves the year before
we're in the conference finals. Absolutely.
They didn't belong there.
No, they did not. They had no business being there. And then, you know, they lost Jalen Brunson as well. And, you know, I think there was a lot of people not understanding how important he was to that team.
You're on your way to the Summer League today, the California Classic.
Yep.
And it's funny because we talk about how much you can glean from one Summer League game, especially a player's first Summer League game. So what I have here is I have the numbers for 4 superstar players.
Okay.
Their first Summer League game.
Oh, okay.
I will give you the players.
Okay.
And I will give you the numbers.
Is Yorgos Papagiannis involved?
He's not on here.
Okay. Gotcha.
Sorry.
Yeah. It would have been too obvious with all those high numbers. 33 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists. Obviously, Yorgos Papagiannis.
Do you want to play as well, Christopher Ladd? You're welcome to. You don't need to. He doesn't
sounds
know
like a no. Sounds like a no.
He's like, I don't know what he said.
Yeah.
Because he's busy. He's working in there. All right. So here are your 4 players. Okay. Kobe Bryant.
Okay. I've heard of him.
And by the way, he played in a summer pro league. The summer league as it is now didn't exist then. But
that's what I was going to ask.
Kobe Bryant.
Okay.
Zion Williamson.
Okay.
Kevin Durant.
Okay.
LeBron James.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I'll give you the stats, and then you tell me which player.
Okay.
And if you're wrong, I'm not going to tell you who's these numbers belong to to make it more difficult for you. But we have 11 points in 9 minutes. First Summer League game.
Okay.
Then was injured and left the game. 11 points in 9 minutes, then injured. Kobe Bryant, Zion Williamson, Kevin Durant, LeBron James.
I'll say Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant. And Christopher Ladd, you playing or not? I didn't get your friend on.
I'll say Kevin Durant.
It's
I
not
was
Kevin
close
Durant.
on Kobe.
It's not Kevin Durant. Okay.
Not Kevin Durant. Gotcha. Not KD.
That was not KD. 18 points, 1 rebound, no assists, 5 for 17 field goals. His first Summer League game.
That sounds like one Kobe being Bryant if I've ever heard it.
I was going to say Zion.
Yeah, you're both wrong.
God. Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
27 points in 26 minutes in his first Summer League game.
LeBron James.
LeBron.
Nope, you're both wrong.
Okay, jeez. Zion went crazy.
0 for 3.
Cool.
This actually helps us because we know who it's not.
Yeah, that's true.
14, 7, and 6. His first Summer League game. 14 points.
We have to get one right.
That's got to be LeBron.
Yeah.
You're right.
Say LeBron.
That's LeBron.
Okay. Thanks,
LeBron's
Chris.
off the
Chris,
board.
that was
in his
that
first
was all
Summer League.
you.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. So
it's
like
reminiscent.
Yeah.
At least that one's reminiscent of kind of what was to come. 14, 7, and 6. Like the 7 and 6 is very LeBron.
I'm going to say the 11. Oh, wait. We said Katie. Never mind.
Yeah. The 11.
11 points in 9 minutes and injured.
I mean, that's
Zion,
the
KD.
injured leads me to say Zion, but I remember Zion's debut. It was against the Knicks, and I feel like he played that entire game.
So I'll say Kobe then.
No, it was Zion.
It was
Zion.
yeah.
It was Zion. I do actually now remember him getting hurt.
Yeah,
because
Zion
it was
Williamson.
yeah.
It's like 9 minutes, 11 points, and he's hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember.
So see, you can tell a lot from a guy's first game sometimes. So you have Kobe and KD left. One of you has this, right? 27 points in 26 minutes.
KD.
No,
Kobe.
It's Kobe. Kobe. Yes. And Alvin Gentry, I think, was coaching against him, said, because Kobe was, 18 or 19?
Yeah, 18.
He said, he's the best young player, best player at his age I've ever seen at his position. One summer league game in the Los Angeles Summer Pro League.
Yeah.
So, yeah, KD in his first game, 18 points, 1 rebound, no assists, 5 of 17.
Ooh, Kevin Durant. That was when
Yeah.
they were trying to play him at shooting guard, I guess. But
What was the Seattle freaking Sonics?
yeah, Seattle. He was probably playing with Jeff Green at that time. I'm actually kind of surprised because I feel like I remember KD just being fantastic from the jump. 27 and 60 and 26 minutes. Sounds like KD to me. And
he wasn't KD yet.
I guess.
Remember, there's still a question as to whether
he was too skinny. He was too skinny, and what position was he going to play? If I'm not, PJ wasn't PJ Carlesimo.
I don't think he
head
coached him in
coach?
summer league, but yeah, I believe
Yeah.
he was his first NBA
Yeah,
coach.
tried to play him
for
at
the
shooting
Seattle
guard.
Sonics.
That's all I remember about
Yeah.
KD's rookie year.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There you go.
Do you think you would have done well on that? If you would have guessed that. Are you a summer league guy? Like, do you frequent? the
I
summer
don't know
league
that I
viewing?
would have gotten these right. I probably would have gotten one or two, but if I understand your question, I think summer league and the California Classic it's great, it's fine, but actual summer league in Vegas, I've felt for years like it's going to be like baseball spring training. I think it's still going to take off from here. It's already big, but I think it's in Vegas. It's summer. I think it's going to grow and grow and grow and grow.
Have you
And
ever
I'm
been
not-
out there?
Yes, I'm not surprised that it's as popular as it is.
Yeah.
And I think there's more room for growth.
This year they're adding a NBA Con, which is going to be like
Yeah.
a convention, which is essentially, I mean, it's already pretty much a massive convention, but now
Now
they're
they can
really
make money off of it.
exactly. Now they're going to like expo it. They're probably going to have people signing autographs and all that stuff.
I
So-
think it's great.
I do too. It's a really it is a great time out there. I've been out there twice. Both times were incredibly fun. I was thinking about going this weekend. You will not regret going to Summer League. You will regret going to Vegas in the middle of summer.
I remember going to Tyreek Evans' first game, Summer League, and like Caspi played and
Mhm.
Brockman. And then,
Dante
it's,
Green.
it's like a high school tournament. It's like the next team that's going to play, they're on the
Yes,
floor.
they're like
It's
watching them. Yeah.
Who's that little kid in the jersey? Oh, that's Steph Curry. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That
He's
would
got
have been
the
a
next
great
game.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I just watched highlights from Steph. It is really cool how you can see, like, I mean, obviously Steph wasn't Steph in that game, but you're like, oh, like there's some elements of that in, of
Yeah,
Steph being great,
right.
even in the Summer League stuff.
Uh-huh.
That's what I really like about Summer League is it is like, it can sometimes be a precursor and like a view into the future of like, oh, okay, I can see that. I can see how this stuff,
Mhm.
how it translates to who they are later.
Here's a glimpse into our future. Crosstalk with Rami's coming up and story time with Christopher Lott.
Wow.
Yeah.
Missed story time. Haven't had story time in a while.
It is next. Whitey and Watkins, Chris and Company, Sactown Sports.
It was an amazing season for the Sacramento Kings. The coach of the year.
These honors don't come around often, and so you're very appreciative of them.
The clutch player of the year.
Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
And a return to the playoffs for the first time in 17 years.
16 seasons of frustration. Sacramento has clinched the playoffs.
Keep it on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for all your Kings off-season news.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, a Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. Finally, the 4th of July sales event is here. Chad, what's going on at Hoblet?
Right now, you can lease a new 2023 Jeep Wrangler Sahara 4xe for only $379 a month for 36 months with $49.95 due at signing. That's a savings of up to $13,500, or you can save up to $92.50 off MSRP, plus get $37.50 in federal tax credits for a total savings of over $13,000.
So whether I lease or buy the new 2023 Jeep Wrangler Sahara 4xe, I can save up to $13,000 or more?
Yeah, and now the only decision is which one you want, because we have a great selection of Wrangler 4xes with over 50 available.
Hey, find your perfect vehicle now when you search, select, and save at HobletDodge.com.
$13,500 in total net savings after $11,000 factory rebates and $2,500 dealer discount. Rebates include $7,500 federal tax credit, $3,000 carb rebate, and $500 California bonus cash. Must be California resident qualify. 36 monthly term, $49.95 cash due at signing, plus tax, license, accessories on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. 25 cents per mile charge of over 10,000 miles per year. $92.50 total net savings after $57.50 factory rebates and $4,000 dealer discount. Plus optional $37.50 tax credit may apply for buyers who meet current federal tax standards only. Subject to change. See your CPA for qualifications. For California residents only. 5 net savings. See dealer for details.
Listen to Oakland A's baseball on the weekends all season long right here on Sactown Sports, beginning with the pregame show brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Sitting at your desk, watch Chris and Company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Hope you had a great holiday. Can't wait to find out how the holiday went for Rami. Getting ready for Rami and
Rami and Co.
Is this on?
Come on. Passing the baton.
Rami and Zachariah coming up. Did you have a lot of fireworks in your neighborhood?
Yeah. Probably
Yeah.
a few too many. Which I have a rooftop in my apartment building, so it's cool that we can go up there and we can see fireworks going off from like different
All over,
suburbs for miles and miles. You know what I mean? So that was cool. But then went downstairs after the fireworks display and cleaned up a puddle of my dog's pee because of the fireworks. So I'm sure every dog owner knows what most dog owners were cleaning up puddles of pee last night.
My dogs don't really worry about it.
Really?
But also I live in South Sac and this goes on like 3 months a year.
Yeah.
So they're pretty much used to it by now.
2 years ago, our dog hated it. He was like in the bathroom shivering. And then we had family over last night. And I think just having like, oh, the pack is here. You're good. And my wife brought his bed and put it by her. And he was like, okay, I can deal with this. And he just laid down and went to sleep.
Good. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
And we live there's a parking garage right across the street from my building, and I moved in last year on 4th of July weekend, and now 2 years in a row, a group of teenagers have put on their own fireworks display from the roof of the parking garage. So that's fun too. You know, that's a good time, and I'm sure my dog loves that explosive going off. You know, basically outside our window.
Yeah,
that's a good time.
Yeah, brats, barbecue, any of that?
Barbecue chicken, burgers, pasta salad, coleslaw, corn on the cob. Your boy did it up. Did it up. Yeah.
All that Food Network's coming.
Yes, sir.
Coming to fruition now. Okay.
Speaking of chicken, story time coming right up. Yesterday I was in the pool, and some people think it was a little cool. The water was perfect, but I asked my wife, "Hey, are you coming in the pool?" And she said, I might. And right then we have neighbors that have chickens. And right after she said, I might, this chicken started going, I had to tell her, I was like, that wasn't me.
Hey,
that was the chicken actually did that. I'm not questioning your courage. That brings us to story time. Christopher Law.
We interrupt this program for an important announcement.
It's that time of the day where Chris Verlaud gives you the stories that you need to hear. Or maybe not. Story time.
Well, gentlemen, we're talking about the 4th of July.
Yes,
we're talking about our our nation's independence. How about we start in Washington, D.C.?
Sounds great.
This is courtesy of WTOP. The nation's capital is dealing with unhealthy air once again, but it is not from fires in Canada. This is our own doing. The forecast for the air quality in D.C. is a code orange as of right now and is expected to be that level through Thursday due to the National Mall fireworks display on Tuesday night.
What?
At points after the fireworks, it reached the peak of code purple, which is the worst air quality. They say you should not go outside. And it went down to red as far away as Maryland. Meteorologist Veronica Johnson said there's no bigger fireworks display than that was happening right here. And we're seeing some of the fine particle pollutants being carried into the northern Prince George's County. So maybe another reason why we should go with drones instead of fireworks.
Thank you. Right. Yes. Drone shows are so much more impressive than fireworks displays. So much more impressive.
Yeah, we were saying that earlier because fireworks, we've pretty much seen them all. But drones, it's like, how'd they do that?
Right.
Yeah.
Make a movie in the sky.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Awe-inspiring.
It's ridiculous. I saw one somewhere in France. I don't know, but they like their wine over there.
Oh, the wine one?
Yeah, and like the drones.
The wine one.
The drones like made a bottle of wine and pouring wine into a wine glass.
It's like
in
interactive.
The sky.
Yeah. It's like a sky gift.
Show me a fireworks display. Do that. I was awestruck. I see fireworks and I just go, okay.
That one was green.
Seen fireworks. What are we doing? You think maybe we're going too far when we can't breathe after the fireworks display? What is happening?
4th of July, brother, you got to blow something up.
I mean, I'm all about America. You know what I mean? But good Lord, what are we doing?
Are you? I don't like
Yes.
fireworks, but I like the drone show in France when they poured wine.
For real.
How about that, Rami? Okay, sure.
It's ridiculous.
The next one takes place in Houston, Texas. This is courtesy of ABC 13, and this is a little strange. So there's quite the mystery going on in a Houston neighborhood. On Thursday morning, a man was found sleeping outside of a church. The man had an item on him with a family member's identification, and the police were able to contact the man's mother. The police identified the man as Rudolph Farias, who was reported missing in 2015 when he was 17. His mother reported him missing after she said he did not return from a walk with his dog. Farias' mother took him to the hospital and shared pictures with ABC 13. She said that she believed her son was beaten, abused, and thought someone kidnapped him for all those years. But here's where the story gets strange. Keisha Ross and her family were shocked to find out that Rudolph Farias was reported missing because they've been saying he's been living with his mother in their neighborhood for years. Ross said he's used to come to my garage, chill with my cousin, son, and daughter. That boy has never been missing. The Ross family said that they had not seen him in a few weeks, but didn't think much of it. When ABC 13 attempted to talk with Farias' mother, she said she didn't want to go on camera, but that she said that was her nephew that was living with her, not her son who's been missing since he was 17. The people in the neighborhood, they saw the picture of the nephew, and they insist that is not the man that they have been seeing in the neighborhood. Investigators have yet to speak with Rudolph, but they are scheduled to meet with him today.
What about the dog? You said he was missing.
Don't know about the dogs, but this is everyone in this neighborhood is saying like, yeah, he's been living here forever. And the mom's like, oh no, that's my nephew. I'm like, no, that's him. They said that he went by the name Rudy. It's like, yeah, that's Rudy. We know him. What are you talking about?
What is wrong with people? I'm so confused.
I'm confused.
Everyone is confused in this story.
I'm not sure I have the story straight.
Yeah,
and even
same.
if I do, I'm confused by why people would do the things that I think they did in
So
the
the
story
mom-
you just told. I don't know what's happening.
The mom is the one with an issue in terms of reality, right? Sounds like?
That's what it sounds
yeah,
like.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't know if maybe she got like money from this situation or if there's like,
oh yeah,
I don't know. But like he was reported missing and then he was found years later and people like, no, he's been here forever.
Huh. All right.
I agree with Whitey. My question is, where's the dog?
Yes.
Where's the dog?
I want to know if there are even dogs to begin with.
Yeah. Well, you never know.
Point. Wow, the conspiracy runs deep.
Can I just say before we go, congratulations to you two fellas, you two gentlemen, the new show.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Both of y'all.
Yeah.
Watkins, I've told you off the air, well deserved, sir. I love seeing
Appreciate it.
the young up and comers who deserve the shot get it. And Whitey, I've had a chance to work with you a handful of times, and always fun. You don't take yourself or this thing we do too seriously, because it shouldn't be taken too seriously. And I think y'all are going to have a fun show.
Thank you.
And Sacramento is better for it.
Jump on his back and see how far he carries.
Congrats,
me.
boys.
Yeah,
I look forward to seeing what y'all do.
Appreciate that.
No
yeah. We've got Rami and Zachariah up next right here. Sactown Sports.
Rami and Co.
Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday night.